Alrighty folks, hello there. This is Alan recording another comprehensive Magic the Gathering Arena draft video. So we're going to do our third AFR draft, and the draft challenge as a limited enthusiast is about to end in around 1.5 more days. So therefore I want to squeeze maybe one or two more draft challenges before it's over. But in the meantime, I need to use up one of my draft tokens that I previously won with the Forgotten Realms Challenge and do a Premier Draft. Since you can't really use draft tokens for the Forgotten Realms Challenge, you need to get at least 3k gems. So without further ado, let's dive on in, do another Premier Draft of Forgotten Realms, and then use up our token. And overall, yeah, again, just a pretty okay format, a core set in disguise for the most part. Definitely not the worst core set I've drafted. I think the worst one is probably core set 2021 or core set 2019. Not sure. Both of them were pretty horrific. Core set 2020 is obviously the better one since it was a lot more grindier. There was a lot more interesting things going on that you could do. Whereas, you know, this is basically a set that kind of disguises itself. I mean, they try to bring the Venture theme to some of the colors, but overall it's pretty underpowered, so it doesn't really matter. And that's a really fun mythic to open. Haven't opened up Loth Spider Queen yet in real life or in digital, so this is going to be my pick. I think this is one of the best cards that you can open. So yeah, whenever a creature dies, you put a counter. Basically, you use a 0 loyalty ability, you draw a card, lose a life. -3 is already a nice, powerful 2-for-1 or 1-for-1, since you can just generate 2/1 black spider creature tokens with Master Reach, which can block flyers that can get through against the planeswalkers, and -8 ability. You get an emblem with whenever a component is dealt combat damage to one or more creatures you control. If that player lost less than 8 life this turn, they lose life equal to the difference. The ultimate ability you're not going to use often. Mostly you're just going to be making spiders and then trading them off for more loyalty. But this is a slam dunk first pick. Second pick out of this pack would probably be Magic Missile, just a great removal spell. Potential 2-for-1 since you can divide up the damage. And then third place would probably be Hulking Bugbears, since I'm a little bit biased towards reds in the set. And yeah, that's a great follow-up. Power Word Kill is excellent. If Power Word Kill wasn't in this pack, it'd be a pretty interesting discussion whether or not we actually take the Crydle or take Sepulchre Ghoul. Sepulchre Ghoul is more like a black-red card in disguise, since it plays pretty well with Price of Loyalty. Luckily, we don't have to debate between both of these, since we have Power Word Kill in this pack. Basically, 2 mana, unconditional removal. I mean, there's a bit of conditions. There's a few dragons and angels in this set, but I mean, regardless, it kills most other creatures, so this is great. I would probably still take Sepulchre Ghoul over Crydle, since again, black-red is the best archetype, and Loth doesn't really play well in blue-black, even though it's just a great card in any black deck, but plays better in, I think, in the black-red grind deck. But for now, we'll just take Power Word Kill. So just a straight up overall amazing first 2 picks. Here, this pack isn't great. The best card in this pack is Wizard's Class. There's also Blue Dragon. Blue is not particularly the best color, but both of these uncommons are definitely the top tier in the blue. And I think Wizard's Class beats Blue Dragon. There's also an Evolving Wilds for fixing, but I think Wizard's Class is enough powerful that we could just take it here. There's nothing else amazing in the rest of the other colors, like Sure Jade Sellsword has Synergy Treasures, but it's not like a high pick. And we did get past Crydle, so there's a chance that maybe the blue-black Unblockable deck is open. Although I might just end up drafting blue-black Control and not fall into the theme too much. That's emphasized in this set. Yeah, I think Wizard's Class is enough powerful that I'll take it over to Blue Dragon. Blue Dragon is good, but it's still very clunky and not necessarily one of the better dragons. I'll take a Wizard's Class. Just great card advantage, and then in the late game it becomes a engine. This pack has nothing too exciting. I heard one of the most overperforming commons in this set is Vampire Spawn in black. Believe it or not, I believe this card has a pretty high win rate in the blue-black in any black deck, just because it's a solid body that can come up the ground early, and then the drain really helps you stabilize or burn the opponent out. So I'll take a Vampire Spawn here. Hard Hexblade could be reasonable if I want to lean towards black-red more. since it's just a nice, decent payoff for treasures. Not particularly amazing, but just a 2-mana 2/2 isn't all the worst. Nothing else too exciting in this pack. Nothing amazing in blue. Well, I don't think we're venturing. Critical hit is like whatever. So I'll take a Vampire Spawn, stick with black, our main color. Okay, there's a Hill Giant Herdgorger pretty late in the pack. There's also Swarming Goblins and Shambling Gas, which are also overperforming commons. I think if we want to lean towards black and black-red treasures, I think we want to maybe try out the Shambling Gas tier. Otherwise, I wouldn't mind between Swarming Goblins and Hill Giant Herdgorger. In the beginning of the set, I would have slam dunk taken Hill Giant Herdgorger, but I think given the power level black-red, I wouldn't mind just leaning towards it with the Swarming Goblins, and the fact that this can make 1/1s can help with Sepulture Ghouls and also count as serviceable chump blockers. But I'll take a Shambling Gas and again stick with mono black. It's a good 1-drop in this set. And then there's another Vampire Spawn I could take. I could speculate on the Hill Giant Herdgorger. There's also nothing amazing in this pack. I mean, I could speculate on this, given that it is probably the best card in this pack overall. And we already have a Vampire Spawn, so I don't mind diversifying a bit. Maybe if the black-green deck is open, we can try the Hill Giant Herdgorger. And then hopefully, I mean, I also wouldn't mind speculating on the Underdark Basilisk as a good 2-drop too in the black-green mid-range deck. But I'll take a Hill Giant Herdgorger over the second Vampire Spawn, just to diversify and see what's open. And wow, Crydal Wield. But there's also Hoarding Ogre, which I'm also a big fan of. Same with the Hoard Robber. Both really excellent cards. I mean, Crydal is good, but I don't really think we're set up for a blue-black unblockable deck. It's just that, I mean, we do have Wizards class going, but again, I don't think we're set up for that type of deck. So I think I'm leaning towards maybe like Hoard Robber just to stay in black, and it's just a solid 2-drop, helping us generate treasures and ramp. So I'll take it here over Hoarding Ogre and Crydal. Even though Hoarding Ogre does have treasure synergy, I'll take the Robber just to stay on black and not venture too far out. There's a Contact Outer Plane, but there's also Underdark Basilisk. Herald of the Hadar is fine. Not a card I'm too high on. Like, I'll play it, but it's not. There's plenty of 5-drops in this set that can overtake it. I think in case we end up in green black, I'll take an Underdark Basilisk. And I'd rather be in green black than blue black. Basically anything with blue on in this set isn't great. I mean, blue is a fun color in this set, but it's not necessarily amazing. No, it seems like red is kind of cut off, so we could just end up in a green black mid-range deck. And yeah, wow, now the Crydal, so no respect. I guess I'll take it here now in case we somehow end up blue black. We don't really have any cards that I'm interested in making unblockable outside of the Hoard Robber. But I'll still speculate on it. Seems better than Find Path, which usually tends to wheel. And then I'll take a second Underdark Basilisk. There's also Spare Dagger, which does play its best in the green-black deck, but I'd rather have my good amounts of Death Touchers first before we can speculate on Spare Dagger. Pick up a Death Touch, of course, is great. And now we see a Contact Outer Plane, or You Come to a River, which does play best in the blue-black deck. There's also Find a Path, but again, I might pick it up later. I think in case we end up with blue-black, I'll take a Contact Outer Plane. That's good card draw. So it does seem like potentially the Sultai colors are kind of open here. I think I'm leaning towards green-black the most, since I think it's just a better color combination, but who knows. I'm seeing some blue cards as well, but black is still going to remain our baseline color. But overall, the draft seems cool. And yeah, Hand of Vecna as a bomb. You can play this in any color, and it's just great. Does play better if you have more life gain, but for the most part, you aren't going to, even if you have 2 cards in your hand, this is still going to give your creature +2/+2 beginning of combat, and that's great. Otherwise, the second best card is probably Burning Hands, but red did not seem open in our first pack. If we're going to stick with the blue-black or the green-black plan, and we weren't taking Hand of Vecna, I don't know what we take here, probably Ray of Frost, but Hand is great, and this card is a really good, great overperformer, great rare. You can play in any deck, so I'll take it. And we do see a Ray of Enfeeblement, which I think is pretty solid. Even if you aren't going to use this to kill a white creature, still find cheap combat trick, and whenever you face against white, this card is just great. It's just amazing, just 1 mana removal. So I'll take it here over maybe a Jin Winseer. We're seeing some red cards too, but didn't see red particularly open in the first pack, so I really think it's cut off in this direction. But I'll be surprised if I see a Dragon's Fire. I might even speculate on it. But Ray's good. And wow, we do see some good cards. Red Dragon and Hobgoblin Captain still in this pack. There's also Owlbear and Intrepid Outlander. I mean, as much as I like speculating on red, we don't have any red cards here. And, Sepulchre Gold is black, but it's more of a black-red card anyways. I think we're leaning towards the green cards here in this pack, either Owlbear or the Intrepid Outlander. Intrepid Outlander is okay. I mean, the stat line for the card is decent. It isn't bad. But I wouldn't mind, but we aren't looking to enable pack tactics too often in the green-black deck. It is a good card though, and we also aren't venturing too much, so I think I'm leaning towards Owlbear, just a great heavy curve topper, just a great 5-drop that replaces itself over the Outlander, since we don't really have much of a venture theme going on. And yeah, that's a pretty late price to loyalty too. We're also seeing Drider, which is very medium. There's also another Shambling Gas, which is also very medium. The Neverwinter Dryad can maybe enable some death triggers for the Bulette. Even though Bulette isn't great. We did pass up a couple of red cards already, so I don't think we're speculating on price. Drider plays best in blue-black, but we don't really have too many ways to make it unblockable outside of Krydle. I think I'm leaning towards the Shambling Gas or Neverwinter Dryad, and in this scenario, I think I'd rather just take the Neverwinter Dryad to maybe help ramp into my big creatures. And the Shambling Gas is conditional, and wow, we do see a Prosperous Innkeeper, one of the better uncommons. Best in the green-white deck since you're trying to enable life gain constantly, but still pretty nice since it makes a treasure token and helps us ramp. And also gives us life to help us stabilize, so I think we're going to be leaning towards green-black. There's also the Zombie Ogre, which I wouldn't mind, another price of loyalty, but again, red did not look particularly open, so I'm not going to take it. Another Hill Giant Herd Gorger is perfect. Also some good blue commons like the Ginny Windseer, but we'll take another Hill Giant Herd Gorger, and then yeah, I think we're just going to be in green, black, and wow. Late Wandering Troubadour, this card is fantastic. Okay, again, we aren't venturing much, but still, I think it's still good enough for me to take here. Just because it just gains you value whenever you play a land, and this card's great. Otherwise, I wouldn't mind a Direwolf Prowler to help lower the curve. And yeah, I'll take maybe a Zombie Ogre here over Baleful Beholder since I have 2 6-drops already. Could use some decent top end. And yeah, we do have a gap in the middle here. I could use some ramp spell or a 3-drop or another 4-drop. But overall, deck seems to be coming out nicely. Well, yeah, Elder Guard Rangers, fine. Could try this as well, and I might play Find the Path to help us ramp to our top end. Could even run 18 lands if I want to. Overall, deck quality is pretty solid. I do like this composition, and yeah, I think green-black is we could have been blue-black, but I think green-black seems a lot more solid and more well-rounded. If we would have been blue-black, we wouldn't have too many payoffs for connecting outside of maybe Krydle connecting. But the green seemed pretty open. As we see that, we do see Mind Flayer, which is a bomb, but I think Grim Bounty's probably the second best card in this pack, regardless, and this just helps us ramp. Great removal spell. It's kind of funny. In this set, do you even take Mind Flayer? Knowing how bad the blue commons is, maybe it's right to take the Grim Bounty since it leans you towards black-red the most. Mind Flayer is great, but again, it can get answered by other removal spells, and you don't necessarily get your 2-for-1. So Grim Bounty seems great, helps us ramp, keeps us on color. Otherwise, I wouldn't mind the Evolving Wilds, since, yeah, I'll take another Grim Bounty, why not? Okay, also wouldn't mind Spoils of the Hunt, but Grim Bounty is usually just better. Sepulchre Ghoul could have some synergy with Shambling Gas if we took a second copy over it in the last pack, but we took the Neverwinter Dryad instead. If Grim Bounty wasn't in this pack, I'd probably take Spoils, but Grim is, again, just too good. Just straight up unconditional removal. There's a chance the green card could even wheel. Between Shezra and Spoils, I might actually just prefer Spoils here, believe it or not. Definitely, I don't think we need to care about venturing too much with the Precipitous Drop. These other 2 cards are fine. Shezra is their black-green uncommon, but it's not, particularly amazing. and the creature needs to die on our turn, and then pay 2 life, draw a card, and the stat line isn't great. It might just be spoils. Just again, more good unconditional removal. And I could use a land as an upgrade over a mana base. Also pretty late Dragon's Fire. Could be splashable, but the land is nice since we're almost full on playables, and it's nice to have a creature land in the late game which can maybe serve as a blocker or an attacker. And here in this pack, I keep seeing these Driders. Spoiler alert, it's not a great card. Um, it's just hard. It's just expensive and hard to connect. I mean, we're also seeing some good blue ones. There's also Fate's Reversal. Could be nice with the Hill Giant Herdgorger. Can't bring back Planeswalkers, can it? No. So it can't really bring back Loth. Might just be leaning towards this Wanty Fangblade as a fine 3-drop with Death Touch. Could increase my creature count a bit more since I could. Usually the median is 15, so yeah, we'll take a Wanty Fangblade. Nice Death Touch creature that can help us ramp. And between Sepulchre Ghoul and the Neverwinter Dryad, I might just cut this Shambling Gas and just throw in another Neverwinter Dryad. We don't really have much synergy with the Sepulchre Ghoul. There's not too many creatures I'm interested in sacrificing in this deck. Yeah, not really outside of the one Shambling Gas, so I'll probably just take another Neverwinter Dryad, play 2 copies of it instead. Well, I guess we can try maybe take Shezra now. I mean, is it better than Boulette? Probably not. I could still take it here. I mean, this could be fine, but it's not great either. There's another Vampire Spawn, but I think we're fine on turn 3. I'll take a Shezra here. Not sure if this is correct. I might not even play it, believe it or not. Could actually play Clouding Skeleton over Bulette as well. We do have a decent amount of removal in this deck too. That can maybe trigger the Bulette, but it coming as a 3/3 without counters isn't great, so I'll probably put it in the sideboard for now. Thieves' Tool can help us ramp. We have a couple of 3-power creatures, but we have more top end, so I'll take a Clouding Skeleton. I don't know, maybe I can try out Shezra over it. Iron Golem can be a filler 4-drop as well. We already have 2 Underdark Basilisk. Can maybe speculate on this Sepulchre Ghoul. I don't think I'll play 3 copies of it. So I like my 6s. The weakest 5 is probably the Zombie Ogre. I'll consider playing it or not. Right now I'm just playing the sideboard as speculation. Actually, I should have maybe taken the Spare Dagger, since we have 2 Death Touch creatures in this deck. But, I mean, I guess 3, so maybe I should speculate on the Dagger, since it played well with the Death Touch creatures. So I'm a little bit, did a little bit of bad clicking. Shouldn't have taken the Drider, but should have taken the Spare Dagger. But anyways, looking at this deck, I like the double 6s, I like the 5s, the 4s look good. 3s all look really satisfying. The 2s are good. And yeah, I do like the Neverwinter Dryads, which can help us ramp. So this is pretty good. And if we're looking to ramp, I guess we want a little bit more top end. So I wouldn't mind just throwing in the Zombie Ogre as a potential creature we can ramp into. Also, just a good blocker. And we have lots of options. I think the one we're debating the most is what type of 4-drop do we want to have here. Actually, let's just move all the removal spells out of the way first and see what our curve looks like. Our creature curve looks something like this. I guess this is a Planeswalker, but I'll count this as a creature since it makes 2 black creature tokens when it ETBs. So yeah, the curve doesn't look too bad. This is more like a 3-drop, it feels like, since I'll be playing 1 mana and then 2 mana to sack it to help us hit our lands. Could always cut 1 Neverwinter Dryad. I think 1 Find a Path is also nice too, just in case I don't get my ramp going. So I mean, just the fact that we're ramping much makes me want to play more expensive cards. Unfortunately, I don't want to ramp into Drider since, again, I highly doubt it will connect. So I feel like the Zombie Ogre can be a nice extra 5-drop in this deck. So then looking at the 3s and 4s, we do have a bit of a gap here. I guess this can count again as a 3-drop, so I could move this over on turn 3. On turn 4, we do have Grim Bounty, maybe Hand, and I guess Find a Path to play on turn 3 anyway. So I guess we want to maybe fill up something at 4, and between the rest of these 4-drops like Iron Golem, Shezra, Bulette, and potentially Clattering Skeleton, the question is which one do we want? There's also Deadly Dispute, which could be fine, but we aren't really making treasures, and there's not much we want to stack in this type of deck. So I think it's really the 4 drops that we're kind of concerned about. Looking at our removal situation, double Grim Bounty, Spoils, Power Word Kill, Ray could be nice with the Bulette. But it's also decent with maybe Shezra. I guess with some death touching creatures, Shezra isn't bad. Just forces some creatures to block. We can even make flyers block from the opponents. And then if they trade up for like a Wanty Fangblade and get us a kill, that can be nice. It's just that the stat line from Shezra is not particularly amazing. Like a 4-mana 1/3 is pretty underwhelming. It does let us gain a bit of value by drawing cards and replacing itself at least. And then the ability we can keep over and over. I mean, it's nice with the Neverwinter Dry. How much life gain do we have? That's another question. If we lose too much life, it isn't great. We have the Double Hill Giant Herd Gorger to gain us some life. Either way, I still don't think it's that great. I mean, we could actually might not activate Shezra if we're against an opponent that's hyper aggro and we can just get completely destroyed. So the question is between like maybe Clattering Skeleton or Bulette. I think I like that over Iron Golem, since Iron Golem, again, is forced to attack all the time, so it isn't great. Has slightly more power than Clattering Skeleton, but it is still forced to attack, which again isn't great. Between these two, it's kind of interesting to note, we do have a couple of Venture creatures in this deck, but we don't really have any payoffs for completing Venture. So it might just be the Bulette. It just maybe might have the potential to grow larger than it can. The 4-mana 3/3 isn't all that amazing, but we do have a lot of removal, double Grim Bounty. Some of our Death Touch creatures can trade. Spoils is great. Power Word Kill. Sometimes we can get a nice combat blowout with Raven Feeblement. And Raven Feeblement does play better with larger creatures like Bulette. And the extra 1-man counter, if it can grow substantially, could be nice since it might force the opponent to trade. And it also kind of threatens the opponent to block if I can just keep making spiders over and over again. And then by trading off those spiders, this will grow, become a 4/4 right away. So maybe Bulette is still better. And then looking at the mana base, slightly favoring green, so 9/8 seems good. And I think we want to keep it at 17 lands since, I mean, like, I wouldn't mind going up to 18, but we already have double Neverwinter Dryad. I could cut a Neverwinter Dryad and put in extra land, but the ramp potential on this is better since it can help me accelerate, so I don't mind going 17 with double Neverwinter Dryad, and then 3 ramp spells could be nice. There's also Horde Robber, which could help us ramp as well. I could also cut Horde Robber maybe and throw in another Clattering Skeleton or another 4-drop in this deck just to have a little bit more top end. But our top end situation is kind of decent already. We have the Hand of Vecna, which is great in the late game, so it's not bad having some cheap creatures like Horde Robber to equip. Same with Wanty Fangblade, so it's nice to have some early game, and this also threatens to ramp as well. So, yeah, I don't really see, like, we could add an extra 4-drop for a little bit more power, but I don't really, they're not, like, too super impactful, honestly, I don't think. So maybe we try out something like this and see how it goes. And, yeah, Loft Spider Queen should be pretty fun if we can find it and cast it. And hopefully I can get up to 3k gems and then fire off a draft challenge before it's over. And the value of draft challenges isn't that bad. Like, you get 3 wins, you get back 2 of your draft tokens, which is essentially just the 3k gems that you've used to pay for it. And this set isn't too hard to figure out, so I can probably just easily get there. And opening hand, Horde Robber is pretty nice. Same with Prosperous Innkeeper. I'll try this with double black. Might be more tempted to leave with the Prosperous Innkeeper, since it automatically generates a treasure and can gain us a little bit of life. Whereas the Horde Robber does need to connect. I mean, maybe it's better off to play the Horde Robber to block his Horde Robber and threaten him to stay back. Because I don't really want making a treasure. I think I'll play the Horde Robber here and then block it if he decides to attack. He could have his own combat trick, which I could be fine just baiting out. So yep, this keeps him back, so now we can play Prosperous Innkeeper, make a treasure, and then I think I'll play, it doesn't really matter what I play, and then definitely no attacks, and then we can play Loft next turn if we want to already, which is quite insane. Definitely going to block here, can't really allow him to make any treasures. We have a removal spell to finish this off like a Manticore. There we go. And now that he has played out the Manticore, the question is, do I play Loth? Loth can make 2 spiders and trade for the Manticore. I could also just take the 2 damage and play Owlbear. So if I make 2 1/1 menace creatures, one of them can trade for Manticore, the other one can double block with the Horde Robber. So lots of interesting options. If he does kill my Autobear, my Owlbear, I might be more tempted to just play the Elterguard Ranger instead. I guess with only 1 treasure out, I need to kind of need to hit my land drop. So maybe Owlbear is better since it allows me to draw a card and gives me potential to play my second 5/5 next turn. I'll happily take 2 in the air. Could also attack with a Prosperous Innkeeper to offer a trade, and I'm not going to be blocking the Horde Robber anyways with it, so I might as well attack. And then yeah, this allows me to hit my land drop, so that can be great for next turn. And opponent has a Mimus Containment, so I'll take 4, and the opponent gets to make a treasure. So probably interested in playing the Elterguard Ranger before Loth, because Loth is going to be at 1 loyalty, and damage all happens at the same time. So if I play Loth, make 2 spiders, and block both flyers, it'll die unless I trade off the Innkeeper, which I don't necessarily want. So I think the best thing to do is play the Elterguard Ranger, and maybe I'm fine offering the Prosperous Innkeeper for a trade, since the extra flyer could be pretty annoying. Question is, do I trade the Ranger for Manticore? I think it's okay. This can block the 1/3. I could also just take 3 and then wait next turn for Loth. He's taking 3 isn't the end of the world, and you know, I'll still make 2 spiders with the Spider Queen and I'll gain some life, so I'll block like this, take 3, and then have the extra reach creature on defense in case he plays something bigger. Have Power Word Kill up. Okay, so I think it's Loft time. And then we'll make 2 spiders.
You reek with terror.
And I think it's again fine attacking with the Prosperous Innkeeper, and then keep the rest of the other creatures back. And then whenever a creature dies, this will gain a loyalty counter, so as long as I can come up the ground, we're good. Opponent is attacking with all. He could have a combat trick, but we do have some blockers here, which is great, so I think I'll block like this and just block like this. Don't see a reason to trade for a Horde Robber. And then Loth will gain more loyalty. Could kill Loth, but I think I just want to 0 and make more and draw more cards. It's fine, I guess he can finish on my wolf, but then I'll have enough loyalty to make 2 spiders again. Yep, and since... Ooh, and I also have Raven Enfeeblement, which can take out the 2/1, but so I think what we want to do is we want to just make spiders here, gain some more life, play our Vampire Spawn, and then I think it's fine attacking with the Elterguard Ranger, or maybe just use Ray on the 2/1. I do get in 4/5 if I use the Ray, and I mean he is playing white, so I should maybe just stay back and just attack for 1 here, because the Ray could have better use against something else. And a 2/1 I can always just block all day. Mace, okay. So if he tries to equip Mace, I can try to kill it with Raven Enfeeblement. I guess he wants to play on Horde Robber. Sure. I can kill it with Power Word Kill, but again, I'd rather just save it, so I can just try to double block the Horde Robber. Yeah, we'll just double block it. If I put 2 spiders, I can maybe get them back, but I think this is better. I could also just use the Ray of Enfeeblement on this to shrink it, but I think I want to save it for the Manticore. If he uses a combat trick, I'll just power word kill, but this is fine.
I will cull the weak.
So opponent doesn't really have anything, I can just Ray on this. And then, yeah, we should be able to win this game easily. So not a bad deck. Managed to play some of our 5-drops. We have good removal and interaction. And Loft can just keep gaining me life, and I mean can just keep drawing me cards at a high life total. Definitely one of the craziest, best cards in this set to open and build around. Okay, Neverwinter Dryad helps us ramp into Hellgiant, Herdgorger, or Bulette. And it's great because what we can do is we can Neverwinter Dryad. I guess we can't Neverwinter Dryad and cast and have Bulette trigger at the same turn, but I still think this is a keep. Since the land does kind of come in tap, yeah, it comes in tap, so I'm most likely just going to sacrifice this on turn 2 and then play the Bulette without the trigger, but that's totally fine. Gets us closer to some of our better top end. And then we also might draw into a Swamp to enable the Bulette as well. Someone plays Treasure Vault, not sure if this is worth it, even in Black-Red Sack. And then, hey, if we have double black, we have Zombie Ogre, so hopefully it doesn't answer the Bulettes. And I can just stay back to hold off this Guild Thief, and then play maybe, and then just try to gum up the ground so he can't ever attack past it. Wizard class, nothing too scary, so nothing too scary so far. And wow, we're just playing everything out on curve. Let's play the Zombie Ogre. Question is, do I attack here? Probably not. Since if he takes out my Zombie Ogre and connects with the Guild Thief, that could be a problem. So I think I'll give it one more turn, and then next turn we can start attacking, and then play out the Hellgiant Herdgorger as a follow-up. You can also make the Guild Thief unblockable, but then we can start attacking, and this is going to be quite small. I mean, he's going to be using up all of his mana just to grow this, and that's not worth it. So it keeps up all of his mana, so that's a little bit odd. I think I might want to main phase Hellgiant Herdgorger in case to maybe play around it to see if he has a counterspell, and he doesn't. So if he doesn't, I guess we're fine attacking in with the Zombie Ogre. Or I could just attack with both, and if I lose both, it's not that bad. But if he has like a Shocking Grass, I think I just want to send it to Zombie Ogre. Only keeps up all of his mana. Okay, for a Spike Trap. Could have also activated the Wizard's class too, just to draw 2 cards. So I'm not sure why he decided to do that. Okay, so luckily I didn't attack with both my creatures, otherwise he could have connected. Right now we can just we can play the Neverwinter Dryad, and then play Wanti Fangblade. And I think we can attack with the Zombie Ogre. I think I'm fine sacrificing the Neverwinter Dryad main phase, because I want to get the trigger off of Zombie Ogre and Bulette. So have some neat synergies here. We also thin our deck a bit, and then we get some nice triggers. And what do I want to do? Do I want to do Tomb of Annihilation? If I do Tomb of Annihilation, we can sacrifice our creature here, which isn't bad. And he is at 13 life. I think I'll do Tomb of Annihilation. I haven't tried it often. And we do have another Death Toucher which can help us venture. But he also has a Spike Pit Trap which can answer a Bulette, so maybe it's still better to scry one. I mean, I guess with Grim Bounty, I think it's better. Yeah, let's try this. Let's try the Tomb of Annihilation. We want to put a little bit of pressure, and then we can eventually... I think we can get there with the 4-4. So opponent can use the Spike Pit Trap. Okay. And Hand of Vecna is great. But I might be more interested in using Grim Bounty on the Rhyme Shield Frost Giants. And I can still pay for the ward cost, so I think that's worth it here. And I can move the combat attack with both of these. He doesn't have any good blocks. End of turn we can also just venture. And what I want to do is I want to do the second chapter, right? So second chapter can make us sacrifice a creature. So I can sacrifice our Hill Giant Herd Gorger. And eventually get our 4-4 going. An artifact. I guess we need to sacrifice 3 things. Never mind, I guess it isn't that great, but sure, I mean, I'll try to get to the 4-4. So I guess the chapter 2 really isn't great at all. We shouldn't do it too often. Yeah, I guess the chapter 2 is pretty bad, since that was just bad for us. So he probably wants to take out the Zombie Ogre to prevent me from venturing, but I mean, I guess he wants to take out the Billet. Okay, so I can still attack with both next turn if he trades off with Wanty Fang. So he is basically forced to attack, block here, and if he trades off with the Wanty Fang Blade, I'll venture anyways with the Zombie Ogre. And then I can make my 4-4 indestructible. And that's pretty awesome. So I guess that made up for the stacking. So I haven't gotten the Tomb of Annihilation trigger, but now I can see why it's not the dungeon you necessarily want to go into too often. I think the Lost Mine of Pendelver is where you want to be in for the most part in this set. If you can venture a million times, you want to go to the Dungeon of the Mad Mage. If you can venture a couple of times, you most likely want to just go into Lost Mine of Pendelver. And if you can only venture a couple of times or venture a lot and you're looking to end the game quickly, then you might want to just go to the Dungeon of the Tomb of Annihilation. So that's pretty cool. I managed to cast my 4-4 Indestructible, but I forgot. I didn't realize you had to sacrifice a land, artifact, and a creature. I thought all you need to do is sacrifice either one of those, but not all 3 of them, and just and eventually get to your 4-4. But now I can see why it's not great doing the Tomb of Annihilation going into Oubliette, because you basically almost 3-for-1 yourself, and it isn't great, but still managed to get away with it against this opponent. Okay, we have Neverwinter Dryad and Horde Robber. Seems quite good. I think I'll keep this. Not sure if I want to ramp with the Neverwinter Dryad or play out the Horde Robber. Probably better off to ramp in case I end up with the second 2-drop. I mean, also depends on the board state. If he plays something on turn 2, a Thieves Tool, okay, so this will help him ramp into his 4-drop. Might be more interested in ramping with the Neverwinter Dryad. This way we can maybe play Horde Robber and Power Word Kill on this at the same turn. But we're definitely attacking. So if I play the Horde Robber, what happens? I might miss out my turn to ramp. So yeah, I think it's better to just sack this and then get 2 spells going. Clattering Skeleton. So I think we want to sack this. Get my Forest. And then this way we can double spell. Play my Swamp, play my Horde Robber. And the question is, do I Power Word Kill? Might not. We'll see. I mean, I could still take 4, technically speaking. It's not the end of the world. And maybe use Power Word Kill to clear a blocker. I mean, the question is, how much do I value this Clattering Skeleton? Dungeon map isn't the worst, so I could just kill this now. Yeah, we'll Power Word Kill this. And then attack and then play Hillgorger unless he has a 2-drop, which I'm hoping he doesn't have. Keeps a card on top, so maybe a removal spell. Hoping he just passes the turn so I can ramp into my Giant, and yeah, that's good. And then we might as well play the Hillgord or Herd Giant before he taps out. Hopefully he doesn't answer this, otherwise I'm kind of flooding here. So I need some heavy hitters or something good I can top deck. And he has his own power word kill. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, that sucks. Okay. So, yeah, if we keep drawing lands, we're not going to get anywhere. And the opponent can also just constantly venture here for value, which is a problem. So I do need some goodies I can draw into. Makes a treasure token, so that implies he might have another spell he's interested in casting. And yeah, this can easily be a loss since we don't seem to have any cards, spells we can play. And we had a pretty reasonable start with the Neverwinter Dryad and Hill Giant Herd Gorger as well. So hopefully we can top deck a bomb or something big we can cast. Blue Dragon is definitely something I don't want to cast. Okay, so we need something good. And as I say that, we draw another land. So yeah, basically the variance of magic punishing us. I'm hoping he just gives us neg 4 neg 0 since I have pretty much the lands to play anything. Yep, that's still fine. Since I have lands to play anything at this point, I don't really care about connecting, and I don't really want him draining me and gaining life. Okay, Wandering Troubadour was a nice pickup. We have enough lands to eventually just get value off of him, so. Needs to deal combat damage, so 0 damage doesn't count as damage. I think we might want to scry one. I don't think we're going to be doing Tomb of Annihilation since we're a little bit far back. So I think it's better to just scry one right now to hopefully draw something good. Underdark Basilisk is fine, but the fact that he has a Thieves tool to make his creatures unblockable and that this is a ground creature is not something I want to keep, so that's an easy bottom. A Horde Robber. Luckily we have our second Horde Robber to stay back. But he's probably just going to equip onto this, and if he equips onto this, I might as well start attacking if he decides to attack with it. I'll attack for the Troubadour and then stay back for the Hoarding Robber. This does force him to equip, but that's fine. And yeah, just more lands, just the variance of magic punishing us. So we have 9, 10, 11 lands, so we have 6 more lands in the library, and he also has a removal spell. I mean, I guess he's just going to use this to prevent 4. Oh, never mind. There goes my Troubadour. Yeah, that sucks. And now he can equip and hit me. Surprised he didn't equip the Horde Robber and hit me, but I guess he might want to use his mana for something else. So we're definitely in trouble. We have a Grim Bounty in the deck that can answer the Blue Dragon. Opponent could also just be holding up a counter spell all day. So if I play anything large, he can just counter it at that point. But, yep. 5, 10, 11. Yeah, 11 lands is not where you want to be. So 6 more lands in the library. Opponent sacrifice a Thieves tool, okay. So maybe that can, if we can take out the Blue Dragon, we can maybe play defense in the meantime. Hopefully to, never mind. Charm Sleep, so one more hit in the air, we're just dead. So we need something. Displacer Beast for value. You can start venturing the Tomb of Annihilation once she's done, just to try to grind me out. So I need like Loth or something, which can make spiders and chump block. But yeah, I think the game could just be over now. Drew way too many lands. Any opponent can basically do anything at this point. Raven Fieldman not going to do it. Okay. Yep, GG's. $11 lands, Jesus. Okay. Not what we were hoping for, but I mean, we did have a pretty promising starting hand. Okay, we have an Innkeeper which helps us ramp. Okay, I'll try this. Hopefully we draw into more ramp spells. I hate using a treasure for a vampire spawn, but it might be necessary. We'll see. Boots of speed, so probably an aggro deck. And land isn't the worst. So if he draw another land, I might be tempted to not play the vampire. I'm hoping I can draw Swamp next turn to go along with it. Ooh, Underdark Basilisk is pretty nice. I don't want to use a treasure for the vampire spawn since I can potentially play a 5-drop, so the Basilisk can help me trade for an opposing creature, which is good. I think I trade here. Tarnar is kind of scary. So I can keep up Spoils of the Hunt for maybe one of them next turn. Or just use it now in case he has removal. Might just use it now in case, my turn in case he has removal. If I draw into land though, I might be more interested in building up my board. And between Owlbear and Elterguard Ranger, I think I like the Owlbear since it allows me to draw an extra card, which can potentially help me play my Elterguard Ranger next turn, so I think this is better. And then we found a Find a Path. So land into Find a Path can allow me to cast Spoils of the Hunt. But our game plan is to win with our top end. We're not trying to win the early game. This card can be kind of scary. So another Underdark Basilisk. He can equip an attack for 2. I think I'm fine just taking 2. Okay, so he's going to try to enable Pack Tactics the following turn, maybe. Hand of Vecna is quite good. I could just cast a Find a Path, though. It won't allow me to cast Spoils of the Hunt, which is a little bit concerning. So I think I might need to keep up Spoils and use it end of turn in case he tries any shenanigans. Yeah, we'll say go. As much as I like to cast Find a Path to help me ramp, I think I need to keep up Spoils in case something really bad happens. Okay, so Hulking Bugbear, so he's going to try to attack and enable Pack Tactics, I think. Okay, so we can get some good blocks going. Yeah, I guess I should have used Spoils before combat. So he's still going to trigger Pack Tactics. Do I take out Tarnar? Yeah, he still gets a trigger off of this, so that's a little bit annoying. So I should have maybe waited. Yeah, I should have just waited. Let's see, what can I do here? I'll kill Tarnar anyways. That's annoying. I should have stayed back. I could trade. Yeah, let's trade. As much as I don't like to trade, I think I might have to do it here. So I should have waited pre-combat, but if I waited pre-combat, he wouldn't have attacked. So either way, it wasn't great. And then, yeah, now we can play... I guess we can play Hand of Vecna and equip. I don't know if that's worth it. I can get in for a ton of damage, but maybe playing out the Elterguard Ranger is still important here, and I can still attack for 1. I can trade here. Yeah, we can find a path into maybe Vampire Spawn and attack for 2. Or play Hand of Vecna. And I think we want to scry Hive of the Eye Tyrant isn't the worst. Can give me an extra creature to maybe potentially play or land to play. I'll try it, and then, yeah, I'll try Hand of Vecna. And I'll pay 2 life. equip the 2/2. And then combat, we can attack for 4, which is pretty decent. Trading isn't the worst because I'm trying to do token for this, so I think it's worth it. And then, yeah, we'll say go. In the meantime, opponent isn't doing much, so I think what we can do is now we can equip onto the Prosperous Innkeeper. And then we can attack for a ton. Don't think there's any flash creatures in Red and Green. Could save the creature in my hand, but I think I'll just play it out. I'm still getting a decent buff, +2/+2 next turn from this, and then we can still play Hive of the Eye Tyrant. Unexpected Windfall, okay. Yep, we'll say go. This also has Menace, so that plays pretty well with the Hand of Vecna. Hill Giant Herdgorger, okay. So I could still attack with the Elder Guard Ranger and offer to trade, which I think could be worth it here. So what I can do is I can equip Hand of Vecna onto the Ranger, activate Eye of the Hive Tyrant, move to combat, attack with both, force a trade, and if not, he's just going to end up attacking with it. And do I care about anything in the graveyard? Probably take out the Owlbear. Don't think it matters. And the trade here is pretty good. And I'll keep the lands in hand, because they can help me pump my creatures, which is more useful. I think I'm fine taking 5 if he tries to do so. I mean, he's going to be dead if he isn't careful. So if I guess I can equip and make this into a 3/3. I guess he can't block this profitably. So yeah, I think what we can do is here we can equip the Vampire Spawn, force him to maybe chump. So this becomes a 5. He can still block my 1/1. I guess 3+5 isn't lethal, so I guess I won't attack with the Prosperous Innkeeper. Just attack with both of these. And in case he has a way to get back his creature, I'll exile the one that gains life. Question is, do I play land? I think at this point I'm fine playing out 1 land, and we'll see go. Owlbear, okay. So now he can block my Menace creature, but if I attack with all, he could be dead unless he plays a second creature to follow up. Intrepid Outlander, okay. Zombie Ogre, So I can attack with this, he double blocks, I take out an Owlbear. I guess if I make the Hive of the Eye Tyrant and attack with all, he is forced to double block one of them. So I think that isn't the worst. So yeah, let's try this. I can't cast my Zombie Ogre anyway, so I might as well move the equipment. Yeah, let's just move to combat, and he should just be dead here, since the Hive has Menace. Hopefully no 1-mana trick here. I don't think there's one, and I think the only 1-mana trick is the Flash Weapon. But yeah, he is forced to double block the yeah, he's just dead here, so. Hand of Vecna is just really difficult to deal with if you're behind. Either way, if you could have made those blocks, it wouldn't have been great. Since, I mean, he had to double block the Hive, which could kill his 2/3, and then he had to chump the 5/6. And he would still be taking 1 from the Prosperous Innkeeper, so still not great for him. Okay, opening hand. No ramp spells, but we do have Troubadour on 4. We're on the play. We can Power Word Kill. I don't really want to use Power Word Kill on something early, but being on the play, I think I'll try it. This is questionable though, so. Opponent's playing blue, so he's playing a slower color at least. So I guess I don't need to worry that much. Crydome, I think I'll kill. Yeah, it's definitely worth killing Crydome. Otherwise, he gets to get the Scry advantage, and he gets to just constantly drain me and mill me, which I don't want. Soul Knife Spy. I'm fine trading off the Wandering Troubadour for it. It's not a great trade, but I think it's reasonable. I definitely want to Scry here. Neverwinter Dryad, probably not what I need. I mean, I could set up a turn where I can Neverwinter Dryad and play Find a Path next turn. But I'd rather just hit my land drop at the end of the day, and even if I don't hit my land drop, at least Find a Path still helps me ramp. So who cares? I'll bomb it. Doesn't seem great. No face. Charm Sleep, so I definitely need to kill this. I mean, I don't need to. I can if I draw land into Ranger, that could be nice. And that's great, so I'll play Ranger, so if the 4-1 gets owned, the 2-2 can at least trade off for the 3-2. And we still get the trigger here, which is great, and I think I want to make a treasure token. Because our deck is pretty mana intensive. Opponent gets to draw 1 card off of it, but the Charm Sleep on the Wandering Troubadour wasn't the best effect. Jinwin Seer, okay. Don't really need to necessarily attack. I think it's best to stay back with the 4-4. Like, I wouldn't mind offering to trade here. I mean, the thing is, if I attack, you could trade here, and then there's just stone walls all day. I think I just stay back and play the Owlbear. I mean, I could attack with the 4-1, offer a trade for the 3-2. If he attacks me in the air, the 4-4 can still attack. So, yeah, why not? I'll attack for 4. I mean, I guess I might want to stay back with this. At least I can trade for the 3-3, so never mind. We'll just stay back. And keep triggering. I guess I can give this neg 4 nego. I guess I can do that instead. Just prevent some damage. I guess this is life gain in a sense. So I should have attacked with the 4-1 perhaps. Okay, doesn't do much. Sure. So he just 2-for-1s himself, and I can still block everything. And I can still keep venturing with the Wandering Troubadour. Okay, so we can play land. I guess Find a Path isn't the worst. Could activate the Hive. I don't really feel the need to be aggressive. Just want to keep venturing and drawing cards. And I guess I'll just stay back again. There's no reason for me to fire off a removal spell this early on. Could do the Lost Mine again. Could also just do Dungeon and the Mad Mage, but Dungeon and Mad Mage takes forever. I'll just keep going to Lost Mine and get my Scry value. Land isn't the worst to keep on top, but I do need to eventually get playables. Displacer Beast. Don't know if I want to kill that or not. Like, it's really not that big of a deal if it keeps venturing. If he wants to spend his mana just to venture all day, that's fine. It's not like a huge concern. It is annoying, but I don't really feel the need to use a removal spell on it. Oh, Loft, okay. I'll just cast my random Planeswalker. Hopefully no counterspell, and he has a counterspell. Alright, that's like the worst case. We still have some more top end in this deck that can maybe help us get through. There was the argument of just using the removal spell. I could also use Eye here and start attacking. I do use up a treasure, but I should have enough mana here. Yeah, maybe it's fine. If he double blocks, I'm fine trading. So that's a 2-for-1. That's pretty nice. I'll take 2 trades. Yeah, I'll take them both. Lose my land, but hey, I still get a treasure. And we keep venturing. I'll make a 1/1 goblin this time. If we're able to just take out a large blocker, we should be able to just keep attacking and close out the game. Spoils is a nice pickup. I think I'll spoils here. Do I want to use a treasure? Using a treasure isn't the worst. Probably not use a treasure. And I can just start attacking now. I'll offer the ranger as a trade. Although, probably not, since I might want to keep this back. Okay. Guess now I can send in both and then cast Vampire Spawn. Scion, okay. I'm fine trading off the 2/2 for the 2/1. It's not the worst, and then I can start enabling attacks again. Does he have another Barda Gates? I mean, I'm happy double blocking the Soul Knife Spy. Yeah, for a blue-black deck, he really doesn't have any unblockable things going on. At this point, he should have equipped maybe Fly onto the Soul Knife Spy by now. I guess I'll just keep playing land and passing. Do I want to put a 1/1 counter? Yeah, just in case. I'll put a 1/1 counter onto a token. In case he answers a Vampire Spawn, I can at least have a creature that can block or keep or attack into the 3/2. Blocks the 2/3. Interesting. Okay. Surprised he didn't block the 4/1. I guess he might have a 1 toughness creature to trade for it. Sure. Need to be careful of cards like maybe Tomb of Annihilation. Okay, just another Barda Gate. At least he counters a creature I don't care about too much. I guess that's only 1 turn, so it's really not that great of a card either way. Could see a flash creature, but I still think I'm attacking here. Sure. Wow, running all these counter spells. I mean, they're fine overhead. Sure, you can Mind Flare my guy. I'll just kill it the next turn. Sucky thing is that it doesn't get to untap, but yeah. So yeah, that's why we save Grim Bounty. We use it on the Mind Flare. So far, only one loss due to the flood. But yeah, we're about to get back most of our gems, and then we should be able to fire off another draft challenge. Could also fire off a quick draft as well, since I have 5k gold. Just want to release as much content as I can and cram it into one video for future references for some of you who want to get better at this set. Okay, opening hand seems fine. We have Find a Path that can help us ramp a good 2-drop early game defensive creature, plus spoils with it is pretty nice. So we'll try it. Could just trade it off, honestly. Okay, +2 mace, that's a bit annoying. So basically game plan, kill all of his creatures so they can't equip mace. Blink Dog with the mace is a little bit annoying. As much as I like to cast Find a Path, I might need to stay back and hope he equips the mace so I can punish him with spoils. Because I'm assuming he wants to equip onto the Blink Dog with this turn. Okay, he just wants to do that instead. Might as well get rid of it now, I guess. Not sure if that was correct. Yeah, let's attack. Can play the Bulette or play Find a Path. I think Bulette is reasonable. And hopefully I top deck a land. If I don't, then that might set me back. He might just equip this and stay back. If he equips Battlecry Goblin, then if I have the trade, I'll take 4. We'll keep this back for the Battlecry Goblin. Okay, getting my lands. Let's attack for 3. Hand of Vecna, wow, that's a scary card. Yeah, Hand of Vecna with the rest of these cards can be quite scary. I'm actually hoping he equips the Battlecry Goblin so I can at least trade for it. Okay, he equips his flyer instead, so his win con is to fly over. But I can still attack on the ground, at least. And Loft is a bomb. Okay, I guess we can play Loft here. And create some spiders to chump block.
My children drench their
And I might as well attack with both of
what
these.
I demand.
Otherwise, I mean, we need to close out the game because this Arbor Pegasus is just going to run us over. So Loft was a pretty nice top deck. And this might force the opponent to stay back now. We can also just start sending creatures. Oh darn, that's bad. Yeah, that's really bad.
Nothing more.
Magic Missile was like the worst case scenario.
My will cannot be denied.
So we need to find an answer to the Pegasus, or at least maybe gain 3 life next turn to survive. Yeah, I don't think that's going to do it. So I could try to send in all. And that is lethal, so yeah, I guess what we want to do is try to send in all. Force a chump. So if I play Zombie Ogre, I guess I can gain a life, but he's just going to kill me in the air. I can cast Find a Path and Wanty Fangblade. I don't know how this is going to work. If I had one more land to gain 3, I could have maybe won. Yeah, that's a little bit saddening. As much as I hate losing to Hand of Vecna and Mace, is there any way I can deal with these? Probably not. So I guess we want to just Find a Path. And yeah, there's not much I can do here. He's at 4 life, so I guess I need to gain a life and hopefully he accidentally plays a card here to shrink his Hand of Vecna down. So I'm hoping he just doesn't attack here and just... Alright, that sucks. Hand of Vecna, Mace on a flyer was brutal. I mean, the Magic Missile turn was really brutal as well. That could have won me the game if I could chump the flyer for a turn. But that was a close match. If he didn't have Magic Missile, I think we would have easily won. But Or I mean, if we had a land or the magic missile, we could have definitely won. Since the land could have gotten me access to Hill Giant Herd Gorger, and the um, Loftless Spiders could have chumped. It was questionable whether or not I should have used a removal spell on the Blink Dog, but taking 4 in the air was a little bit too much. And plus, he was eventually going to equip Mace to it, and I can't really afford to tap out for a creature to on the turn he equips the Mace and chump. So I think using the spoils was correct. So I think I played that game perfectly, just got a little bit unlucky. Okay, Horde Robber seems fine. Hopefully can connect. If not, I mean, we have potential to draw in another Swamp for Grim Bounty. I'll try it. It's nice to have these mana accelerants in the early game. Like, Horde Robber obviously isn't super reliable. I guess I'd rather just play the Winter Dryad at this point. Okay, I guess we don't want to play Horde Robber, just ramp out with the Neverwinter Dryad and eventually hit the Owlbear. Steadfast Paladin, okay, I can chump in next turn. Or I can play Prosperous Innkeeper. Innkeeper also helps us ramp, but I think I want to get value off of this Dryad and block. The alternative is play the Hoarding Robber, but ramping is just better, so I think I'll pass. And then next turn we can play Prosperous Innkeeper into Hoarding Robber instead. But I'll happily chump here, prevent 2, and then sack this to ramp. And want to play the Prosperous Innkeeper first, of course, to gain the extra life. Okay, and the Hoarding Robber can block Steadfast Paladin and Priest of the Ancient Lore, so it seems pretty good. Yep. I don't really see the reason to hold up Power Word Kill. Just need to establish some good blockers. I'll block the Steadfast at the 1-3, and I'm fine baiting out a combat trick. Guess the opponent values the Steadfast Paladin. Hobgoblin Captain is a bit annoying, but yeah, we'll play a Hill Giant Herd Gorger to hold it off. And if the opponent's just playing all these suboptimal creatures, I can just stay back, play defense, and then just keep ramping and playing out large stuff. Question is, do I attack the Hill Giant Herd Gorger? The Hoarding Ogre is a little bit annoying. I could attack with it, but it's probably still best to stay back. Do I want to keep a Power Word Kill? That's the question. Probably not. I think we just want to keep developing, and then I don't think we should attack. Because I want the 7/6 to at least serve as a good blocker. Next turn we can start attacking, since now we have all these removal spells we could use. Okay, no stacking. I guess I can still chump with the Hill Giant Herd Gorger, not the worst. So what I can do is this. I definitely want to chump this. So we can block like this, and then block like this. Could see a combat trick as well. Okay. At least I'm trading. Alright, so opponent goes all in, but hey, we have another Hill Giant Herd Gorger to follow up. And I think I'll attack for 7 at this point. Hopefully he doesn't have another Price of Loyalty. That can be kind of scary. So that was his 1-turn window to help him get in the attack, but now he's just stuck. Okay. Yeah, I'll attack with both. And I will Grim Bounty here and take out the Hobgoblin Captain. And then just play the Wanty Fangblade. Could have taken out the flyer, but the 3/1 first strike is more annoying. And then these two creatures are lethal, so yeah, we'll just get in. Just a chump, okay. Yeah, we'll just let him chump, and then I could kill one of them to win, but it's more fun to just have him chump all day and then have him press the concede button. Okay, guess the game isn't over yet. I guess it's over because I can just use some removal spells here. You know, I guess we can just take out the swarming goblins. And then power word kill rights. Good power word, but nah. Right, 5 and 2. Got some gems back. And then we should be able to fire off another draft challenge. Or maybe do a quick draft. Okay, we have Prosperous Innkeeper, Neverwinter Dryad. Yeah, we'll try it. Okay, and we can cast a Troubadour on 4, and I think I'll do that instead of playing out the Prosperous Innkeeper. Can't think of anything. Just attack. Then end of turn we can activate it and then get our Wandering Troubadour ASAP. Could play the Prosperous Innkeeper for value, but opponent's stuck on land, so opponent could have a removal spell, but yeah, in that case maybe it's better off to play the Prosperous Innkeeper, but at the same time I don't mind just bringing out the Troubadour. Yeah, we'll just get some land value, get some scry action. Could have, again, he could have removal, but okay, he could have responded before end step, so we could go dungeon on the Mad Mage, but it's a little bit too risky. So I think Lost Mine scry into land is pretty solid. So this can keep the Troubadour back, so I can play Prosperous Innkeeper. Could use my treasure here for the Bulette, which I don't mind. I can also play Hand of Vecna, give this +3/+3, and attack for a ton of damage, which is also fine as well. It's not the worst. Let's do it. Get a little bit aggressive here. Treasure token or a 1/1. 1/1 can allow me to gain life, but treasure token also helps us double spell eventually, so I think I like the treasure token instead. Do I take 2? Probably not worth it. I like just gaining life here. Okay. Guess we can power word kill in response to blow him out. So the treasure really helped. Yeah, Hand of Vecna can be busted. that's why damage-based fight spells and removal spells aren't great, because the opponent can always respond and disrupt. And yeah, that Steadfast Paladin's not going to see the light of day. Could always main phase it so I can grow my Bulettes, so we'll try that instead. Didn't need to play out land, but whatever. He should just be dead here. Might as well get the extra trigger from the hand. Didn't have to play out land. Yeah, it could have been a 2/2/2/2, but he could have responded anyways. Okay, so opponent survives for one more turn. I never mind. Vampire Spawn just kills him, so yeah, we just GG's him. Yeah, that was just a beating. So I might just do one more quick draft before we head on to the draft challenge. This way we can save the draft challenge as kind of our... I mean, the question is, do we want dessert or do we want dinner? Dinner would be the draft challenge. The dessert would be the quick draft to help round out the video. I think I'd rather just... I mean, it makes sense to have your desserts in the end, right? So... Or maybe I can view it another way. Maybe the draft challenge is the dessert and the dinner is the quick draft. I guess I can view it that way instead. It's all relative, right? Alright, one green mana can give us access to Find the Path. If we don't get green mana, this hand is a little bit awkward. We're on the draw. Maybe it's worth keeping this. If we draw nothing but black mana and we draw green spells, that's going to be quite bad, so I think it's more... Can't risk it, and this hand is not great, but it's a lot better than the previous... It's slightly better than the previous one. I think we might want to drop the Bulettes and just keep the Troubadour and Spoils in the meantime, or I can just ditch a land. Yeah, let's ditch the Bulette. I have 2 4-drops and I'd rather have the Troubadour. Hopefully I don't draw more lands, but the more lands isn't the worst. If Troubadour survives, I can gain value off of it. But we're probably facing against the Black-Red Treasures deck, which wants us to have good early game. Okay, Warped Sword is a bomb. That's going to be a little bit rough, so I need to basically kill everything he has. Yeah, if he can keep activating this in the late game, I'm pretty much screwed. I mean, if he's chipping in for 3 every single time, I'm also getting screwed, so... Yep. I don't want to necessarily use Green Bounty on this Shambling Gas, so I could just keep taking 3, eventually make a 1/1 token with the Adventure, and then block the Shambling Gas. Priest I'm willing to kill, though. Priest is just a little bit too scary, or trade off for the Troubadour. Troubadour for value, or Grim Bounty and get something going, get more ramp going. I think I want to get the Troubadour down because I'll eventually get the 1/1 token. So, yeah, let's just do this. And then bomb the land. Thank God we get the bomb the land. And I'm fine trading for the 2/2 here. I'll definitely take 4 here, and then if he doesn't attack with a 2/2, then I'll just Grim Bounty this next turn and make a 1/1. Oh darn, he had removal, of course. And he can also make a 2/2 off of this. So yeah, we definitely lose this. Vorpal Sword is just too powerful. Guess I'll just take 3 again, use Hoarding Robber to hold off the 1/1. and at least keep this up with spoil so I can take out the shambling gas in the first place. I can also train my hive, but yeah, if he has removal too, I'm just completely dead. So yeah, we're just drawing nothing but lands, so I'm probably gonna have to activate the hive to block the 3/1. Fall to 1, and then this becomes a threat I have to deal with. And then he can eventually just activate it. Yep, good games. Alright, there goes a Tomb of Annihilation. Couldn't get 7, but, you know, this deck was still very sweet. Just had to face against Vorpal's Sword in last game and drew nothing but lands. And that does happen. That's a variance of Magic. Okay, alright, you know what? Let's do a quick draft, and then let's do the draft challenge. Quick draft shouldn't be too difficult, since there's no wait time for the draft queue, and I can gain some gems back. But we got back, we got back a couple more gems, so that's pretty nice. Claim our prize, and let's do a quick draft. And then hopefully we can have enough time to go over the packs, but yeah, let's fire off quick draft here, which is also about to end soon. Pack 1, pick 1, quick draft. Adventures. Ooh, this is a pretty fun rare to open. Yeah, Rose Class can be quite fun. There's also Wandering Troubadour, which I'm a big fan of, which would keep us more flexible and just great all around as well. The land is always fine since fixing is banned this set. Best commons in this pack could just be the Ouroboreal Pegasus or No Hunter, but Rose Class is really fun, and I haven't drafted any blue-black decks yet. And it's just going to be a steady stream of card advantage if you can level it up onto level 3. And sometimes you can just mill the opponent out if you can just deal enough damage. The right pick could just be Wandering Troubadour, but I think the power level Rose Class is close, and it's also, and even though it's a lot less flexible, it's a lot more fun, and could potentially actually be better than Wandering Troubadour. Who knows? So maybe we draft the blue-black unblockable deck. And Fly is perfect. Also, there is Dragon's Fire and Burning Hands in this pack as well, so had we taken the Wandering Troubadour, we'd probably be looking at one of these two removal spells. Between both of these, maybe the higher upside is Burning Hands, since, I mean, this can still deal with 2 toughness early on, and then the 6 damage could be a lot more impactful. And Dragon's Fire mostly just deals with early game creatures anyways, but, I mean, they're both kind of questionable. But I think we take Fly here after taking Rose Class, since we're trying to do the whole blue-black unblockable thing. Still one of the better blue uncommons. Of course, you could do open yourself up for a 2-for-1, but so be it. Grim Bounty seems perfect. Great removal spell. Also wouldn't mind Precipitous Drop. In the blue-black unblockable deck, there's a bit of a minor venture theme sometimes. It's more the aggro venture archetype, but still going to take Grim Bounty. Had we stuck with the Wandering Troubadour plan, we'd still be probably looking at Grim Bounty or Chaos Channeler. Brunor is also amazing, but it is only goes in red-white, so we'll take Grim Bounty here. And, okay, we could take a Horde Robber, has a bit of that blue-black unblockable synergy, since it's one of those creatures you want to make unblockable, so seems great. Priest is also great. Shezra, haven't been a big fan of it, hasn't been too great. Best card in this pack is definitely Priest, but we'll stick with our unblockable plan, take the Horde Robber. Not a big fan of the Power Persuasion, but Aircold Elemental and You Come to a River could be pretty decent. I mean, You Come to a River is probably just better than Power of Persuasion, since it's just it's just cheaper, and it's also an instant. Between these two, usually I prefer just at least having one copy of the creature, and then hopefully pick up a copy of You Come to a River later. The You Come to a River can also make a creature unblockable, which could be really relevant. They say when in doubt, you just take the cheaper card, right? Currently, we don't have too many creatures, so I might be more tempted to just take the Aircold Elemental. Like, we only have one Horde Robber and some non-creature spells, so in case we don't ever pick up an Aircold Elemental, I'd prefer to just have the creature in the top end. It's just a flyer that can give us a bit of tempo advantage. I guess I'll take a dungeon map. Maybe there's a bit of adventure theme I don't mind doing, and then even though we might not be ramping, I mean, it beats everything else in this pack. Feign Death could be reasonable. Maybe if I open up a good bomb, I don't mind reanimating. Not a big fan. Lightfoot Rogue is not amazing, but it is a nice aggressive rogue to fit the flavor of the archetype. Otherwise, I'd be looking at Baleful Beholder, but yeah, it's a nice, decent early game aggressive creature that maybe we can connect with. So take a Lightfoot Rogue. Maybe we need to ramp with Clever Conjurer. Definitely one of the better blue commons in the set. And yeah, to fit our unblockable theme, I think I'll take a Guild Thief. Rewards us for doing the whole unblockable thing as well, just by gaining counters. 4 mana to make it unblockable and gain a counter isn't amazing, but if you can drop it early and maybe enhance it with fly, it could be. So we'll see. And then we can always check for traps. There's also Rhyme Shields Frost Giant if we're looking to fly over. And I mean, if we're looking to attack with evasive creatures and gum up the ground, it could be nice. But I think I like to check for traps here because again, it just fits the theme of the whole blue-black thing. As you can see from the art, it's a rogue. So yeah, we're just going rogue tribal here basically. Herald of the Hadar. Not sure if I'll play this, but could be a late game mana thing if we make it to late game. I'd rather just have Rhyme Shield Frost Giant actually, because I don't think we need to roll dice to drain them to close out the game. We can just try to get in with our early game aggressive creatures and then play some bigger blockers in the early game to help us stall and go from there. You see a guard approach can also give one of our creatures hexproof, which could be a thing if we're kind of go all in with one creature, but we'll see. Power Word Kill, easy pickup. Tiamat is also really fun. If you play this in a Black-Red Treasures deck, sometimes you can splash for this. But Power Word Kill is just more consistent and just a better card that we need here, so we'll take it. We'll take another Grim Bounty. More removal is great. Also wouldn't mind Yuan-Ti Fangblade, but Grim Bounty is just too good to pass up. Hopefully we can pick one of these up later, since this is another payoff for doing the whole unblockable thing. But we'll take a Grim Bounty. And Reaper's Talisman is perfect. If Reaper's Talisman was this pack between Scion and of Stygia and Wizard's Class, I would probably still take Wizard's Class here, since it's just a great uncommon, can enhance creatures in the late game, but Reaper's Talisman is a bomb, and rewards us for playing this type of deck as well. Play a bunch of unblockable things that can attack solo, and then it just becomes a game-ending threat. The Talisman does have that theme of the unblockable thing. Whenever it connects, you make a copy, but it's really difficult to get going. And it could almost be a dead card. Might just prefer the Clever Conjurer. There's also Silver Raven, which is an evasive threat. The only payoff for evasive right now is Rogue's Class and Reaper's Talisman. I think I prefer just the second Clever Conjurer here, giving us a little bit more ramp and utility. And it can also untap the dungeon map. I forgot to mention that. Maybe I play a Pixie Guide as a 2-drop that has auto flying. Not sure if I'll make the cut. I guess if we have a bit of adventure theme, Precipitous Drop isn't the worst. And it's also pretty late in the pack. There's also the Temple of the Dragon Queen, but I'll speculate on the Precipitous Drop. Could be nice if I need more interaction. And this pack doesn't seem great. I'll take another Oracle Elemental. Not sure if I'll play the second copy though. And then there's a second Guild Thief. Second Check for Traps, Baleful Beholder. Not sure if I'll play double Guild Thief. Could play 2 copies. It's not the worst. But I might not play the second one, who knows, but, you know, it's still in the pack. You Come to River, could use 1 copy of this, finally see a copy, and then just take whatever. Now these cards, I don't think I'm playing any of these. But Blue-Black does seem very open. Hopefully I can pick up the Scion of Stygia in the next pack. But overall, could use some more top end to ramp into with the Grim Bounties. I do like the Jin Windseer, the best blue common. Treasure Chest is pretty bad. Yeah, you don't really care about the 2 and the 5 roll. The 10 and the 19 is where you want to get, but honestly, you can still low row and it's not great. The Jin Windseer is just a great 4-drop and evasive threat, and helps with Scry, so it seems great. Cryo's perfect for the blue-black deck, so now these Guild Thieves are a lot better since I can make creatures unblockable now. So it seems great. Also, wouldn't mind a Thieves tool as another way to get in with evasive damage, but Cryo is what we're looking for. Could take a Manticore as a flyer we can play on turn 4. Even though most of our creatures are going to be unblockable and we don't have much chump creatures to chump, I guess I'll take it over the rest of these other cards, which aren't that great. And Scion could be nice to help us get a creature out of the way and attack. The Vampire Spawn could also be reasonable. but we'll just take a Scion here. Could use a copy, and I'll take another Crydle. Okay, I'll just play a million Crydles, and this way I guess we don't have to play something bad like Pixie Guide. Thieves' School is also nice, can give us some evasion. Like we do have Crydle to make things unblockable, but sometimes we don't want to pay the mana to necessarily get in, and this also helps us ramp. So I'll take the Thieves' Tool here. Another Fly seems great. Okay. I mean, at this point, we probably don't even need Thieves' Tool. There's a Higher Text Blade. Don't have any Treasure Makers outside of one Thieves' Tool, so it seems pretty bad. Take another Rhyme Shield Frost Giant. Could play 2 copies of this to ensure we have more early game blockers, or some blockers we can ramp into. Like, I don't mind playing 2 copies of the Rhyme Shield or 2 copies of Oracle Elemental. But we are also high on playables here, so maybe Manticore can go. Just doesn't seem great. It is a flying unblockable, but I really want to get value off of it by trading off and killing things. So we definitely want to round out the deck first to see what's going to make our final cut. I do want 1 Oracle Elemental, 1 Rhyme Shield. These are definitely staying. Could cut the dungeon map. It does help us venture, but it's slow, and I'd rather have the Clever Conjurers, just so this can easily go. The Scion, I do like 1 copy. The Precipitous Drop, I don't mind a copy as well. We aren't venturing much, but it's still 3 mana deal 2. But it's also not great. Questionable card could also be Check for Traps, but it is a rogue theme, so maybe we can cut these cards here. I like the You Come to River. Lightfoot Rogue also isn't fantastic. Like, it is a nice aggressive 2-drop. But it doesn't really have a payoff for connecting. But we are light on creatures, so there's an argument for keeping it anyways. These tools also might not be necessary. With double Crydle and double Fly, we could easily try to get in. I guess with the double Fly as a venture theme, the Precipitous Drop could also make sense to add a little bit more of the venturing going on. And then if we can complete a dungeon, this kills a creature, so maybe that's fine. And as much as I don't like Lightfoot Rogue, I might have to play it given that we're light on creatures. And given that we're light on creatures, the last cards could just be creatures we can fill out the curve with. With double Clever Conjurer, I might want an extra Oracle Elemental to help me close out and fly over. And then we can add 1 more creature. So yeah, let's see. Could add the Herald. Honestly, I don't hate it. Could also add another Rhyme Shield Frost Giant on turn 4. Could add the Manticore. Manticore is another evasive threat. But again, unless I'm chumping and using this as a way to kill something, it isn't. I'm not getting full value off of it. I could also cut the Fly, 1 copy of Fly, because like we do have a bit of evasion in this deck already. But the fact that it allows us to venture could be quite nice, and we do have a couple of ground attackers I don't mind latching this onto. It does open me up for a potential 2-for-1 as well, so it's not particularly super amazing. So there's also an argument for cutting Fly. I can definitely see the argument for cutting Dungeon Map and Herald. I can see the argument for cutting Manticore, Thieves' Tool. I mean, it's almost like Fly, basically, since it does allow us to ramp a bit and also can just make a creature unblockable. But Fly but you also have to pay the equip costs, which isn't great. The Check for Traps also is fine, but I rather might want the extra creature. So if I want extra creatures, either between Frost Giant or Pixie. We don't have much dice roll going on. It is an evasive flyer that we could play on turn 2 that can chip in. But I might prefer the extra Rhyme Shield Frost Giant since we have double Clever Conjurer, which can help us ramp into it. I mean, it's also an evasive creature I can put the Reaper's Talisman onto. So it's pretty interesting. I could cut 1 Clever Conjurer as well. Maybe we don't want to play too much ramp. But just having this to untap like some of our permanents is nice, and our extra ramp obviously helps us to stabilize. So maybe I just throw in a Pixie Guide here, and I could fit in the extra Rhyme Shield Frost Giant actually. Now that I think about it, but what would I cut the Fly? Fly is useful with some of our ground creatures. This does have built-in evasion, but sometimes I don't mind just latching Fly onto this. I'm just hoping I don't get 2-for-1, of course, which could be kind of bad. 14 creatures, so we are a little bit lighter on creatures. I do want the extra Rhyme Shield Frost Giant, though. And if I want to throw this in, the question is, what do I cut? Maybe the Lightfoot Rogue, but it is an early creature. Maybe it's a second fly, or maybe it's just a Guild Thief. Like, I could see the argument for cutting Guild Thief. Like, it does fit the flavor of the theme, but honestly, it is not that great. I mean, this with Fly on turn 2 could be nice. Maybe I do just cut the Rhyme Shield Frost Giant and just play one copy and then take it from there. Looking at the deck, mana base slightly favoring blue. I mean, it's definitely favoring blue a lot, but I still think we need 8 black sources to cast these double Grim Bounties. Yeah, Guild Thief can be weird. It just doesn't block well in the early game, and if you aren't able to get in with it, it's kind of bad. Yeah, it's not a great card in the early game. In the late game, it could be fine, but maybe we don't need it. Like, it's kind of weird seeing that we need top end in the blue-black deck, but maybe that is the case. Like, Guild Thief is good with Fly, it's good with the Krydle. I guess it's fine to play this on turn 2 and then follow up with maybe a removal spell or a bounce spell. Yeah, you know what? We'll try to double Guild Thief. You only live once. And I think we need to keep it at 17 lands with what we have. So just looking over the sideboard. Manticore could also be okay. The extra flying could be correct. But at the same time, Pixie Guide, we want to cast our flyers early. Could also cut Clever Conjurer, but with double Oracle Elemental, we might need the ramp. I don't know. It's all questionable. I'm not like a pro at building the blue-black unblockable deck, but maybe this is what we just have to work with right now. So let's try it. Ninjutsu. It's kind of a joke on Modern Horizons 2, but we'll try this deck out. And then we'll see which cards underperform, and if they do underperform, we'll just get rid of them. But the deck definitely leans towards aggression, so want to keep an early curve. If we do run out of creatures, it could be a problem though, but maybe we can venture and make a 1/1 Goblin and latch a fly onto it. This hand isn't great, we need some black mana. We're on the play though. We can cast a Clever Conjurer and nothing else. Doesn't seem like a great keep. This hand seems slightly better. Guild Thief with Fly is great, so we might just keep this and then bomb the Oracle Elemental. And then we'll play a Guild Thief on 2 and fly it across, maybe, or Lightfoot Rogue. So if I play the Guild Thief here, it's less likely he wants to attack since it can open up room for it to gain counters. So I think I'll play this out, and then he could have a follow-up to block this, but we could just fly over and play the Lightfoot Rogue, so he does. Okay. And if he has removal, we're basically screwed. So this implies he has removal since he's not doing anything, so I think I just attack here and then not fly. So we can see a Dragon's Fire here. Okay, he did have removal, so fly would have been bad. Clever Conjurer can now block and help us ramp, at least. Strange attack, this implies a combat trick. Do I want to bait out a combat trick? It isn't the worst. But I do want this to ramp into Oracle Elemental, so I think I take one. Yep, he had the Dueling Rapier. So pretty interesting to note. I might want to just fly my Clever Conjurer, but he does have mana available, so maybe just say go. Fly does get in for 2. I can't really block with a Lightfoot Rogue. I'll say go. Maybe I just trade for the Lightfoot Rogue and keep the Clever Conjurer and save my fly for something else. I guess I can't block this. Yeah, this is annoying. I think I have to block this then. Maybe I can try to make a treasure with the fly. And he has another dumb combat trick, right? Okay. Bit annoying. Okay, Precipitous Drop is nice. Question is, do I fly it over? I think I do. At this stage of the game, I need to gain some value off the venture. And yeah, I guess we can make a treasure token. So we want to scry one. And actually, yeah, if I make a treasure token, next turn I can play the Oracle Elemental, so I think I want to keep the land on top. Fly over and then and then make the treasure, and then fly, and then use the Air Cold Elemental to bounce whatever he plays, and then attack. And that's a creature that's worth bouncing, I say. Let's attack first. Well, I can just drain him since I'm planning to bounce the creature anyways. Question is, do I let him attack me? I mean, I'm kind of winning the race here if I keep drawing cards, so I think I just keep attacking. As much as I like to block this Hoarding Ogre, he can just equip the Dueling Rapier on it the following turn. Yeah, I think we need to start attacking, and he can equip this for 0. That's pretty busted. I guess I can now bounce the Brunor on his turn. But let's draw some cards first, of course. Ooh, Grid Bounty sweet. Let's do that instead. Perfect target and perfect top deck. So this is the name. This is the plan of tempo. Just prevent the opponent from getting on board. Could also bounce this, but I think I want to wait until his pre-combat steps because he might equip the Dueling Rapier. But yeah, we can just keep attacking and then bouncing his stuff, and then constantly connecting game value. So. But that game was close. If he had nothing but removal all day, then that's pretty much our biggest weakness, an opponent with nothing but removal. So don't want to face against a red-black deck that's just going to steal and sack your things. No black mana. Yeah, as much as if we had a single black mana, this hand's great, but double Air Cold Elemental is not what we want to keep, so I'll mull. And I guess now we can keep. Might actually just bomb the Air Cold Elemental. I could also just get greedy and bottom a land. Yeah, I mean, just in case, maybe it's correct to bomb this. And then we can leave with Crydal and start scrying. Unless he has an answer, of course. Because I want to at least guarantee I hit my land 5 for Rime Shield Frost Giant. And we did, so I can start scrying lands to the bottom now. Hopefully no removal. Pixie Guy's annoying, but I can still attack and make it unblockable, so I think that's what we want to do. Full control, attack. And yeah, I'll pay the 2. And then we get in for 2 and we get the extra scry and improve our draw step. Fly isn't bad. Fly's a little bit tricky because the thing is, this is already unblockable. And if he has removal, that's really bad. I think I don't want to risk it. I think I'll bomb the Fly. Like, Fly would be sweet if I can, obviously latch this on and also attack. But it's also kind of risky here, so I'd rather just take it slow. Clever Conjurer wasn't bad. I also wouldn't mind attacking. I mean, I'm guaranteed to play my 5-drop next turn, so I think I actually attack here and make him unblockable. Lightfoot Rogue is also okay. I mean, I can double spell with it maybe, so I'll try it. We're also light on creatures, so I could also lead with the Clever Conjurer He might just use the Spike Pit Trap to take out Krydle. Charm Sleep, okay. I guess I can then tap it with Clever Conjure. So I don't want to play my Clever Conjure into the Spike Trap because he's most likely he wants to use it for maybe the Rhyme Shield Frost Giant. I mean, this does a Ward 3, so I mean, might as well use this Stabilize first, play the Clever Conjurer, try to untap Krydle with it. He can't activate this yet. I could also just attack with it next turn as well, just to get in some damage. And I'll probably attack next turn here, because I just want to get in this damage. I'm hoping he uses the Spike Trap on the Frost Giants, so then Clever Conjurer can again untap the Krydle. I guess this also has a nice passive effect. Yeah, he's probably going to use a Spike Trap on Rhyme Shield, so I might as well attack. There's no need to do so. Chumping is fine. It's pretty good. And then we can fly one of them once he uses the Spike Pit Trap. We can also untap Krydle again. Opponent plays Brazen Dwarf, so we can still attack with the Rhyme Shield Frost Giant. Guess this has War 3, so he needs 8 mana to deal with it. Wow, he's fireballing a creature that he removed. That's the power of Clever Conjurer. He can do some pretty disgusting things. And he also used up his treasure, so I can start latching Fly onto Rhyme Shield Frost Giant now and getting in there, which is also not the worst. I could also start making the Lightfoot Rogue unblockable, so that's also kind of key. So yeah, why not? Let's do that. Let's fly to Rhyme Shield Frost Giant. Let's play Krydle. And is it whenever you attack? Yep. So I can attack here. And then trigger Krydle. Make this unblockable. Pay 2. And it also hits for 3, which is nice. Can force him to chump block with the Pixie. And with this being able to connect, I can now start scrying or venturing. Yeah, let's scry one. Bond the land, thank God. Can also untap the Rhyme Shield Frost Giant as well, which is also pretty nice. Can prevent some attacks. I can also start attacking with Krydle to start scrying and gaining life as well, instead of the Lightfoot Rogue. If the opponent uses this on Krydle, then my Rhyme Shield Giant is protected and I can keep getting in there. AFR, so opponent's giving me a turn. Okay, so what I can do now is I can attack with both, make this unblockable, because I do want the scry. I think it's more relevant in dealing the extra damage at this stage in the game, so I think this is better. And if he chomps this, that's also good. And we get the Balmore land, so getting some good value off of this. This will gain Menace if we roll a dice, but I'll still untap the Rhyme Shield Frost Giant. I think it's worth it. And now I can start activating the Guild Thief and making Krydle unblockable as well. Yeah, this is Ward 3, so he needs to pay for the ward, which he doesn't have enough to pay for, so yeah, I think I'll just oops him. This says Ward 3, you can't kill this, so he messed up. Yeah, flying with Frost Shield Giant is pretty disgusting. Yeah, no blue mana. We keep mulliganing on our opening hands, and I think, unfortunately, we have to do it again this time. And okay, this seems slightly better. I think I can bottom a land, since I do have the Jin that can maybe scry and Krydle. I don't want to lose any of these creatures, which could be pretty important. Question is, what do I play first? Probably Lightfoot Rogue to deal more damage, but the scry from this is also pretty nice. With my 4th land already, you know, if he doesn't play anything, Krydle's just good. But if he plays a 2-2, I might want to trade off of the Lightfoot Rogue, so yeah, maybe the extra damage is better. I don't really want to pay 2 mana per turn just to make this unblockable. I'd rather just use this to trade off, and then maybe follow it with Krydle. Druid class, okay, so Krydle would have been maybe better, but we still get to get in for maybe 3. And wow, gains 3 hits with a nat 20, so kind of the dream. And so if he plays a creature, I might not want to attack with the Lightfoot Rogue, because I might want to save it as an extra creature that can allow me to get across. I'm hoping he just levels this up and plays a land so we can start chipping in. Could also Grim Bounty anything scary he plays. Please just level up. So he probably has something here. I think we still attack. Obviously, could see a removal spell maybe. So he probably has a removal spell since he didn't level this up. Which one do I want to make unblockable? There's no flash creatures I'm aware of. I'll just make this unblockable. It doesn't really matter. Actually, I don't have to pay. I'm not even going to pay, so... So probably going to see a Dragon's Fire or some sort of removal spell here. Yep. And then I'm willing to keep lands on top for the Aircold Elemental. I mean, keeping 1 land is probably fine, since I want pieces. Grim Bounty can help me ramp into my treasure, so I'll keep the land on top. Barbarian, I'm not really scared of. It's not a creature I'm necessarily interested in bouncing back either. Could still use this to offer trade, which I don't mind as well, since I have the Aircold Elemental coming up. Don't want to use Grim Bounty on a mediocre creature, of course. Opponent is probably missing his land drops. Could see another removal spell here, which can be kind of annoying. Wish I had an instant speed to deal with this, but that's not the case. And this is not a creature this is a creature I don't even want to really bounce back. So I might just attack and pass next turn. And he's also just gaining life, so... Yeah, I don't want to use Grim Bounty on the 3-2, it's kind of bad. As much as I like to develop the board, it's probably not worth it still. Give me some good targets, please. Hopefully no Owlbear. And the fact that I can bounce the land too if he decides to upgrade could be a thing. Okay, Owlbear is definitely not anything I want to bounce, so I'll kill that with the Grim Bounty. And I have a second one to follow up in case he plays the Hill Giant Herdgorger. Please just level up. Zalto, I'm willing to bounce. Could play the Guild Thief too, but yeah, this is fine bouncing. Bit of a scary card, but I'll bounce it. The problem is he's eventually just going to level up his druid class to level 5, and he's going to have a large land, and he's also gaining life, so I can only do so much. Porting over is a problem. Yeah, Pixie Guide's also not going to do much, so I guess I'll activate. Question is, do I tap for the Oracle Elemental? I think I have to. Because, yeah, we eventually just... I think at this point we just need to chip in as much damage as possible and just try to close out the game. I can also chump with the Pixie. Probably going to use the Pixie to chump the flyer that he plays. I mean, the land dork. Ooh, Tarask. Okay, never mind. I guess I'll chump block Tarask. I guess it can fight. So yeah, good games. Yeah, we're not winning this. He just has life gain, enough mana rocks to eventually level himself up, and then Tarask is just unbeatable at this point. I used up both my Grim Bounties, and yeah. Would have loved the Soul Knife Spy in this deck, or maybe the Shortcut Seeker, because it could block and, you know, still gain us some value if it connects. Alright, we have Road Class and Guild Thief, okay. The dream is real. I think we leave with the Guild Thief first and then maybe follow with Road Class later. Because the potential of this connecting and gaining a counter is a lot better than setting this up. So I can play the Road Class this turn and fly. There's also a chance he could have removal, which could be pretty bad, so I think we just want to play the Clever Conjurer. Because if he has like the -2/-2 next turn, I don't want to waste it. So just gotta be careful here, not to try to get all in. Okay, Skullport Merchant, now it's reasonable to try to fly over. I can also ramp out the Oracle Elemental next turn, but I think this turn we could also just pay mana to make this unblockable, but I think it's better to just get the Road Class down and then fly this across. Play land. Can I level up? Not really. So yeah, I could do the Tomb of Annihilation, but no one ever goes there, so I'll scry one instead. And we'll bomb a land since we can ramp out the Oracle Elemental next turn anyways. And then, do I untap the Guild Thief? Yeah, we'll just say go. Could have a removal for this, and that's gonna be a little bit of a blowout, but Delina, okay, that's really scary. At least I can bounce this back, and he doesn't have removal, so that's great. So what I want to do now is I want to ramp out the Oracle Elemental, bounce Delina to set him back, and then attack with a flying Guild Thief. Yeah, I'll create a treasure token. Could use 4 mana dorks to upgrade my rogues class. Rhyme Shield Frost Giant, or I can just level this. I think the Frost Giant could just be better. I guess I can give this neg for Nego, or just drain him. I think draining him is better. Like so, yeah, Rhinefield Shield Frost Giant could be nice. And I think I'll untap the land just in case I need to use You Come to River. So we'll see go. So yeah, that was pretty fun, although we didn't get to level up the Rose class. That was pretty fun having the fly on the Guild Thief and them having no removal. It's just a it's just a beating. So always prioritize removal in the set, guys. Otherwise, you're just completely owned by fly. So it's kind of questionable whether or not you want to take Grim Bounty or Dragon's Fire over Delina. Wild Mage pack one, pick one. I think I still lean towards the removal spell over Delina, but I can see the argument for Delina. But 4 mana is a lot, and just removal is very important in the set. So. Krydal, Clever Conjurer seems like a good starting hand. And then I think we lead with the Lightfoot Rogue, since we shove enough lands to cast Jin Winseer, and I don't necessarily need the extra scry early on, so we'll try this. And this is again just easier to block. I don't want to spend 2 mana early on just to enable this. It's better off in the late game when I can make other creatures unblockable, so Lightfoot Rogue is fine. Can help us trade off, and then we can ramp out with the Clever Conjurer. Barbarian class, okay. Well, it's not doing anything too scary. I think I play the Mana Dork here. And then we can double spell or play Rime Shield Frost Giant next turn. Really depends. If he does nothing, I might as well attack with both and then just double spell. And if the opponent wants to be aggressive and tap out, then the Guild Thief can punish him. Yeah, we have a lot of great payoffs for players. Okay, he could flash into Scion. We'll see. Doesn't, okay, I think I just attack then. And I think it's better to double spell instead of playing out the Jin. Because again, if he plays a creature of haste with the dice roll, we can punish him. And I'll leave the Guild Thief since I think the Krydal is a much more important creature if he wants to counter it. Yeah, the opponent's just doing nothing but just passing the turn and not developing the board. He could just be in trouble. So he has some key creatures he needs to take out now. Krydal, Guild Thief, maybe Clever Conjurer or Lightfoot Rogue. And if he's just going to spend his turn leveling, that's also not great, so we can easily just take over this game. Okay, Rust Monster. Sure. If I get land, I can still play the Jin. No land though. Maybe I just bounce this and attack. It's not the worst. I mean, I guess he doesn't really have a good block on Krydal either. So I could just attack with these two and play out the Jin and take it from there. I could also just bounce and just get in for a lot of damage. I could also make this, tap this for mana. Yeah, I think I just attack with both of these and play out the Jin. And he doesn't really have any good blocks here. We can chip in for 4. Got rid of his Orchard Shrine, and I think I need to keep land for a potential Aircole Elemental. Scry 2, okay, I can look deeper. 2 lands on top, not sure, since I already have the Clever Conjurer, which can help me ramp. I think I bottom one of them, just in case I don't flood out a lot. The extra land could be decent though, since like I have a couple of mana sinks in this deck. So this is a perfect target for me to bounce this turn, and I can attack with Crydle, Clever, and Jin Windseer again. I guess I can only attack with Crydle and Jin Windseer. Still think I'd get out the Air Cold Elemental. So I can attack with Crydle. Yeah, I don't know what this opponent is doing. He's also splashing green for the Orchard Jelly, and he needs treasures for it, so yeah, I think he's just dead here. Yeah. Four and one, okay. Alright, 2-drop, 3-drop, seems good. With both our mana. So, blue-green, under Dark Basilisk, good target for the Precipitous drop. So, might just use that next turn. As much as I would like to ramp, maybe it's best to kill this, but if he does kill this, then I'm probably just going to play out the Clever Conjurer, since I want to use this in order to connect. So attacking is a little bit odd. So, Intrepid Outlander, I could attack and finish it off with the Precipitous Drop. I could also Precipitous Drop and then maybe prevent him from blocking. Could also just play out the Clever Conjurer. Maybe the drop is still better off on the 1-2 instead. Or maybe it's better off just to play the Clever Conjurer and pass. Maybe that's just better. Get the mana advantage going, and I don't really want to... Don't even know what I want to drop yet, so... Another Underdark Basilisk. Okay, so he's just going to play a million of these. Well, it's not playing anything too scary, honestly. I mean, like, obviously these are annoying with fight spells. Opponent's not even attacking as well, so I guess I'll just play out my flyer. I guess we could be we can Precipitous Drop and also you come to a river, but I don't really want to do that, so we'll play a Jin Windseer. Then we can start chipping into the flyer. Scry 2, keep a land. One land on top could be nice. Lightfoot Rogue isn't great. Yeah, it's not great. I'd rather just get something better. It is a creature I can make unblockable with Krydle, so I guess it's also not the worst, but it's also not amazing. Yeah, lots of interesting questions here. I mean, we are going to make a Treasure Brim Bounty. It's just not... I'm just a little bit low on the card because it's not super impactful, but it is a creature I can start making unblockable with Krydle, but Krydle can also make itself unblockable, so I'll bottom it. And we'll say go. Owlbear, that's a creature I don't mind killing. Although I could just block it with the Aircold Elemental. So maybe that's just what I want to do. Yeah, you know what? I'll just bounce the Intrepid Outlander and attack with the 3/3. And then block the Owlbear or take it. Here's another evasive win condition. So I might not want to put it in harm's way, but there's a chance he could also ramp out into a Herd Gorger, which I'd rather take out with Grim Bounty. And I can also start attacking with Krydle and making it unblockable. Innkeeper is annoying as well. Since I have unblockable creatures, I don't really care about taking out the Basilisk anymore. Surprised he hasn't attacked me with him yet, though, which is kind of interesting to note. So, yeah, I guess what we can do is we can Grim Bounty the Owlbear, or maybe we want to Grim Bounty the Intrepid Outlander. Maybe just attack with both of these and keep on my instances. Could be fine. I can also just drop the Innkeeper to prevent him from gaining too much life. Or I can just use it on the Intrepid Outlander once he blocks. So yeah, maybe we can try that. And I'm hoping he blocks here so I can finish it off with the Precipitous Drop and save my Grim Bounty for something better. Rime Shield Frost Giant can hold off the Owlbear, so I think I'll keep that. I guess I can also untap the Aircold Elemental to block. That's pretty cool. I already scryed already. The funny thing is I might actually prefer to do maybe Tomb of Annihilation, which isn't the worst. Yeah, I already know what I'm keeping on top. Might just do Tomb of Annihilation. Elder Guard Ranger, annoying as well. Okay. At least I can block. At least I can start attacking in them. And taking it from there. So I can start attacking with the 2/5, and then I can play the Rime Shield Giant. Yeah, he can start attacking with his Death Touchers as well. Opponent finally realizes it. Yeah, I'll attack with the 2/5 and play the Frost Giant. I can also untap it as well, so Seems fine. Attack for 2. Play out the giant. Untap the Aircall Elemental. And I can also start making Unblockable and then use Grim Bounty on maybe the Owlbear or the Elder Guard Ranger and start getting in. Opponent stays back, so he probably has an instant. Volo, okay, that needs to die. Yeah, Volo's definitely a #1 kill target now. That is not going to happen. Cannot allow him to attack here. Fly is also nice. Can start flying over it with the Rime Frost Giant. I think that's not bad, but that needs to go. Sure. I think it's best to untap the Aircall Elemental instead of the Rime Shield Frost Giant. Although this makes it more scarier because he won't be able to get in with his 4/4. So I can Oubliette. I think I want to do Veil of Fear. And I think I'll lose 2 life. Spare Dagger, I guess with the Owlbear could be a thing. He can attack and use it. Ooh, I guess he can use it with Death Touch. Okay, that kind of sucks because now he can take out my Rime Shield Frost Giant. He does need to pay the ward cost though. Yeah, I'll take... He's going to use on the Giant, which is going to be really annoying. But maybe I can finish him off next turn. Yeah, I mean, I think he's dead anyways, either way, so... I can bounce the 4/1, attack for 5, and that's lethal. I can also have a second fly, so I can also make this unblockable. But yeah, I think we just want to bounce here, right? Let's make sure that I'm not missing out on anything. Yeah, let's just bounce this. And then we'll attack for 5, and that's game over. And he only gains life when creatures enters the battlefield, so not lands. So yeah, he's just dead here. Playing with a pretty unexciting deck outside of Volo, so luckily no Herd Gorgers. Spare Dagger with a Basilisk is a cute combo. Could have thought about that in my last draft, and I did, but I passed up the Spare Dagger, which would have been maybe should have been a main deck include for my green-black deck last draft. Ooh, Reaper's Talisman, finally saw this card. There's a couple of cards we haven't seen yet. Reaper's Talisman, one of them, and I think Scion. But yeah, Reaper's is a nice weapon to play out. Hopefully he's not playing red, so he doesn't play the Barbarian to kill it. Okay, he's playing red, so hopefully no Barbarian. He's just gotta hope and pray. Maybe should have played out blue mana, but please no Barbarian. If he attacks for 2 and passes and he misses his land drop, that's also fine. Tarnar, okay. So if he doesn't attack, I mean, he could have a Bull Strength. Okay, he's just gonna develop the board. So he can enable Pack Tactics next turn. So if he can do that, I think the best approach is to get out the Frost Giant instead of the Jhin, just because it's such a good blocker. And then we can also start bouncing his stuff back. The Tarnar is probably the scariest of the creatures that he has. Plundering Barbarian, take out my treasures, a bit annoying. Okay. So now what? Could play the Jhin and then play Rogue's Class. This is still a really good blocker that can block raiding out. Whenever it attacks, if you attack with creatures with total power 6 or greater this turn, attacking creatures get +1/+0 until end of turn. Yeah, that's pretty scary. Yeah, maybe I just bounce this in attack, but then he can just double block. That's a little bit bad. I still think I might have to do this. Tarnar is kind of scary, I just want to slow him down in the meantime. And then play out the Jhin and Rogue's Class next turn, and then we should have a good round of blockers that can defend against this threat. I guess I can also give my Flyers Menace in the future. Spare Dagger, okay. And then we just want to gum up the ground here and then bottom any lands. You Come to River could be nice. Yeah, you know what? This is actually not a bad card to have. And then if he tries to go for an all-out attack, we can still trade and do some good blocks. Not sure if I want to final level it. Could attack with both. Could also just attack with the 3/3. If I attack with both, I can make him discard a bunch. I can have him mill the top of his card a bunch. I'll just attack with the Jhin Windseer. If I activate this, what happens? Then I can, I guess I played out my land per turn already, right? Did I play out land per turn? That's a question. I don't think so, because last turn I played the Rogue's Class and the Jhin Windseer, so if I activate the Rogue's Class here, I get to play his land. I guess not. Okay, that might have been a misplay. We'll still pass the turn here. And this could be his turn that he goes all for an all-in attack. All-out attack, and then... Yeah, it's still maybe worth it leveling this up. So he might just go on with this Targnar, pump it. I might be forced to chump and do some trades here. Or just take a bunch of damage. So yeah, it feels bad not realizing I already played the land. I guess it was 7 lands. I thought I had 6 lands open, so that was a huge misplay. Should have at least kept up You Come to a River in case something like this happens. Okay, it's sparring guard, so he's gonna go for an attack maybe this turn. Okay, I can still, yeah, Targnar is just gonna pump the team. I can still trade here and then block the rest, and then still take a couple hits, and we should still be fine. Trading for Targnar isn't the worst of the Rhyme Shield Frost Giant either. The clever Conjurer at this point can just go. And then once we can connect with some flyers, we can maybe generate some card advantage. Yeah, I think this is a fine trade. Given that he's tapped out. Another Aircoal Elemental, but we can just attack for flyers and see what's up. Okay, let's just get out of land. We have all the lands. Play out the Aircoal Elemental. The question is, which creature do I bounce? Probably the Null Hunter, so he doesn't gain any counters. And then we can still keep up You Come to a River. I can also make this card give it +1/+0 as well, instead of bouncing to kill a creature. So that's a pretty interesting interaction. I'll block it, and if he uses anything, I'll just bounce it. If I have a removal spell to finish it off, I'll just bounce it as well. Sure. And then we'll just keep bouncing his stuff back and generating card advantage. Fireball's pretty cool. Yeah, I guess I can cast a Fireball now. But maybe it's still better to play the Aircoal Elemental in the meantime. Bounce No Hunter again. Play out the dagger. And then maybe equip the dagger. And this gives it the extra power if I equip, so it's a 3/5 which can hold off the 3 toughness creatures now, so yeah, that's pretty sweet. Yeah, I think we win here. Wow, we have pretty much everything here. Yeah, let's just kill his reach creature. And then let's just kill the Hoarding Ogre. Yep. Alright, that was pretty fun. Didn't see Rogue's class in action too much, except this game. If you can just constantly connect with flyers and exile the top of his card, you can just level up to this final class and then just utilize everything as card advantage from there on out. So yeah, not bad. So we're 6-1. Just need to get one more win, and we can end up 7-1, and then we can maybe do a best out of 3 draft and take it from there. All right. Opening hand. Oh, double Krydo and Guild Thief. I think this is a keep. Although I can't play both Krydos, I can always lead with one, and then if it gets answered, the second one can jump on in. can hop on in, I mean. Question is, which one do I play first? The Guild Thief can threaten to get in, so maybe I want to play that first. But there's a chance that it can get eaten up by removal first, which I'd rather have the Crydle get eaten up by removal first. So it's a close call. Still think it's maybe Guild Thief. This threatens his creatures to stay back. So Poe might just stay back here, and he doesn't, so... Alright, no fear. Just got out Crydle. And then we can use Grim Bounty next turn to maybe clear a path and get in with both, if he isn't too careful. I can also just attack and make this unblockable with Crydle. Okay, Power Word Kill. So Poe's more scared of Crydle. Opponent has no fear, also just attacking both creatures. Alright, sure. Guess we can just get in there and play Crydle, and don't really feel the need to Grim Bounty Pegasus. So I'm actually happy that he killed my Crydle so I can play out the second one. Okay, I mean, I'll just keep taking him, and if he wants to keep attacking me for 3... Alright, so now this is a pretty good Grim Bounty target. And I think it's fine playing out the Horde Robber since I have enough mana to cast the Airful Elemental and puts a little bit more pressure. Containments, okay. We can drop this. I don't really want a Cult here, although it develops a board, it just doesn't seem great. This is a pretty fine, reasonable target for me to take out, and then I think I scry one. And bottom the land, thank God. Play out the land, attack for 1. Gloomstalker, okay. Decent creature for me to bounce. And we have a second Aircult Elemental to follow up, so... I don't know what this guy's drafting. I mean, it goes to show you how Quick Draft operates. I mean, the amount of stuff you can get away with in Quick Draft, since most people aren't great doing this. So we have enough mana to basically cast anything now. Fangblade I don't really care about too much. Sure, I can venture, but I should be able to win this. And Power Word Kill is awesome. Let's just use it now. Hopefully no white mana into White Dragon. You come to river, sure, I can use this to... I guess this can bounce non-land permanents, right? So I can also just get back Crydle. I mean, I can use this to get back Guild Thief, right? Not sure. If I bounce my treasure... I mean, I guess this is a treasure, so if I bounce this, it will come back as a treasure. So I don't think I want to do that. I'd rather keep this up to maybe save my flyer. If he top decks removal, so I can try to help close out the game with him. Do I even need to block? I mean, I might as well block this. Manticore, I can bounce, but there's really no need for me to bounce it since I can just make my Aircool Elemental unblockable and win the game. So I'm fine having this resolve, and I can just give this +1/+0 unblockable and kill him. So yeah, we just flooded out really badly in the final match, but we still managed to win this one, so luckily the opponent wasn't playing anything too insane. So yeah, there we go. 7-1, blue-black unblockable. I should just name the title. I shouldn't call it ninjutsu. It's just a little bit offending since this set really isn't anything compared to Modern Horizons 1. And I'll probably just make a second video showcasing the AFR best out of 3. I mean, I can still make the draft portion and then record the gameplay portion next video, since I don't think I have enough time to do a best out of 3 and then get up to 1,000,000 wins. So I think it's better to just make a new video. But yeah. But yeah, that's my mom. Sorry. Yeah, blue black unblockable. And yeah, this deck wasn't bad. It's also not a great deck, to be honest. It just managed to get away with doing this since most people aren't great in Quick Draft Limited. So there we have it. 7-1 Quick Draft Blue Black Unblockable deck. Fun deck. Doesn't usually come together a whole lot, but still quite fun. So we'll claim our prize. And then I guess we'll just crack some packs, and I'll make maybe a third video on AFR and do the draft challenge since it's about to end soon. And I want to at least showcase it one more time before it goes away. Pack one, pick one. Hand of Vecna is great. There's also Red Dragon, which is great, and Priest of the Ancient Lore. A common that has also gotten up in value is Deadly Dispute, but I wouldn't take it over the 3 of these. If I want to just maybe hate draft red and force red, I could just take the Red Dragon, which is probably the pick over Priest, since red is the best color in the set, and also leans the swords, black, red treasures. But Hand of Vecna is also really powerful. Obviously, it's not great if you're behind, and not a good card that's great on defense. But if you can just equip this onto a flyer, or if you're in a board style in the late game, if you equip this onto a small creature and start attacking with it, and the opponent's forced to trade with it, this card is quite powerful. It's definitely great with life-linking creatures like Steadfast Paladin as well. And there's not a lot of life-linking creatures in the set, but still, if you can equip this onto the Paladin and then grow it into like a 5/5 or a 6/6, it's pretty insane. So yeah, I would probably still take Hand of Vecna here. I think this card is a bomb. Obviously, it's not great in every situation, but if you can put this again onto a lifelinker, if you have this if it's a board stall and you can equip this onto a flyer or a small creature, or if you're obviously ahead, this card is great. So I would probably take Hand of Vecna here. Volo's a bomb too, not in the best colors. The blue and green are the worst colors, but yeah, if I open up Volo, I'll play Volo. You can even splash this if you have enough treasures to get going. Not the easiest, but definitely a great card whenever you cast a creature spell that doesn't share a creature type with a creature you control, or a creature in the graveyard, copy that spell. So, even if you might share creatures with some creature types, there's enough creature variety in the set that you don't care too much about building around this. Basically, you just play this, and then for the most part, if you can play a Hill Giant Herdgorger and you can make another copy, you just win the game. So Volo's a bomb. If Volo wasn't in this pack, Hill Giant Herdgorger is the second best card in this pack, and then follow it with maybe Krydle. But Krydle, I wouldn't mind just trying to do the whole blue-black unblockable deck since it's kind of fun. There's also Temple of the Dragon Queen, which is a nice dual land, quote-unquote pseudo dual land, which can help us fix. But Volo is definitely the bomb here, and it would be a mistake to take anything else over it. This pack sucks. The rare isn't great. Displacer Beast, it's fine in the Venture deck, but obviously, but for the most part, 4 mana is a lot that bounces back, and Venturing, usually the effect isn't super impactful. It has, obviously, if you can get to the final chapters, it's great, but if you're just venturing once or twice, it's really not amazing. And yeah, you most likely you're going to want to play this in some sort of blue-green deck with Venture, or blue-white deck that's more controlling Venture. Um, Blue-black has a bit of a Venture theme, but is more aggressive, and you mostly likely just going to Venture once with this and trade this off, which isn't great. I'd rather just play Soul Knife Spy, which can connect and draw a card. The best card in this pack is probably the Steadfast Paladin. Precipitous Drop is okay, but I've been a lot lower on this card. I think Sepulchral or Deadly Dispute is probably better black commons than Precipitous Drop, given that Precipitous Drop isn't great at all in black-red, is only really playable in the white-black Venture deck. Um, it's most likely just going to give a creature -2/-2 at the end of the day, and 3 mana is quite expensive for what it does. I'll probably just take Steadfast Paladin as a good 2-drop. And again, there's not a lot of lifelink in this deck, and if you can equip that creature up with equipments or play in a green-white life gain deck, it's great. I'll take the Hall here, nothing amazing. I guess there's Deadly Dispute, but we can always pick that later. This just has a much more unique effect. And yeah, even though blue is the worst color, don't avoid blue by any means. It's definitely playable, and you can still have a pretty strong blue deck if you open up some great uncommons or commons in blue. It's just that the quality is a lot lower compared to the other colors, but it's still not an unplayable color by any means. And the Hall of the Storm Giants, it's still kind of a scary card to play against, since you can just activate this into the late game, make this into 7/7 Giants, which can just crash in for a ton, so the opponent needs to be careful. But I'll take Hall here over everything else. Lair is pretty fun too. There's also Owlbear, but usually it's nice to pick up these spell lands, since if you do end up flooding in the late game, this can become a spell, so that can become a creature, and just having a XX Green Hydra creature is powerful. Even if you're flooding out, it's going to be quite large to contend with. Otherwise, I would probably still take Owlbear or Hoarding Ogre over Feywild Trickster or Cloister Gargoyle. Again, venturing isn't great in this set. It's definitely underwhelming. If you can fully venture this is a good card, but it's not like a game-breaking card. Feywild Trickster, if you end up in a blue-red dice roll deck, is one of the great payoffs in it. But outside of the payoffs, most of the blue-red dice roll cards aren't very good. Outside the Jin Windseer and maybe Fireball or Contact Other Plane, but they aren't like super amazing. I would probably still take Owlbear here, just a great 5-mana 4/4. As a second pick, I would probably go Lair, Owlbear into Hoarding Ogre. Probably the third best red common, since treasures are really powerful in this set. Easy Dragon's Fire, obviously no, never mind. Skeletal Swarming is a bomb. Usually red is highly contested in this set, so even if you pick the Dragon's Fire, it could be cut off. Whereas if you still end up in a black-red treasures deck without the Dragon's Fire, you can still splash Skeletal Swarming. Hell, you can splash this in any green or black deck basically, or just play it up straight up. Black-green discards just wins the late game basically if you're able to stall out. Obviously, if you're playing against an aggro deck and this could be a little bit too slow, but if you can just stall out and just create a bunch of 1/1 skeleton creatures all day and constantly attack with them, it's just going to win you the game. So Skeletal Swarming is a slam dunk over Dragon's Fire. I'll take a Frogahemith, just a great card. And if it connects, it just becomes even harder, more difficult to deal with. Also, the life gain can be kind of relevant too. Exiling an opponent's graveyard could be relevant if they run things like Face Reversal, or like the 3 mana you happen upon a Glade that gets back a permanent. There's not too much graveyard shenanigans in this set, but there's a couple of cards that can bring cards back from the graveyard. So it's nice having the Frogahemith, and it's just yeah, definitely a bomb. So I'll take that over everything else. Fighter class, usually I've been a little bit down on red-white, but this is definitely a pretty good enchantment. Can help you fetch your best equipment, and then making your equip abilities cost 2 less to activate is quite good. And then the third ability chapter is quite nice. There's also Fly, which we did play in the blue-black Unblockable deck. Can be pretty nice if you latch this onto a large creature, or play this in a straight-up blue-black deck with a lot of like if you connect with this with a Soul Knife Spy or Guild Thief, it's quite good. Best common, probably. I mean, it's a mixed package. Elder Guard Ranger is decent, same with the Arboreal Pegasus. If I was an equipment deck, Armory Veteran would be great. I would probably just still speculate on the fighter class, since I haven't drafted a ton of red-whites, but a lot of people have been a little bit lower on. But if you get past like Bruno or Plate Armor, it's busted. Paladin versus Battlecry Goblin, both of these are definitely a lot better than Owlbear or Fly. Battlecry Goblin was deemed the mythic uncommon of the set, but I don't think I can pass up on Forest-Worn Paladin. It just, the pump ability just becomes game-winning in the late game, and just being able to maybe grant your creature's death touch with the treasures it creates is great. Can also help you fix and ramp. So Force-Worn Paladin probably over Battlecry Goblin, but I would take Goblin over maybe Owlbear or Fly. But there you have it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this AFR draft video. Next video, we're going to do Forgotten Realms draft challenge before it goes away, since we made up a bunch of gems. And then once that happens, maybe I fire off a fourth Forgotten Realms draft and call it after the next set comes out, which is in September, so we have plenty of time. And I might even try to climb the Mythic Top 10 if I want to, since this set is really easy and I pretty much figured it out already. But anyways, hope you guys enjoy this video, and in the meantime, take care. Bye.